What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Kandid Konvos. I'm your host, Quay Price. We got Chloe with us. We got Steve Prince. Say what's up to the people.
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday.
Hello, how y'all doing?
Oh, you ain't gonna put the little sexy Barry White voice on tonight, C Prince?
Oh, I'm not. I'm waiting until we get to do You Want to Be Married so I can let them know. Man, they want to marry somebody like me.
Hey man, I ain't mad at that. I ain't mad at that. But shout out to everybody joining us tonight. Let me put the link up. As I said, this conversation it may go there tonight. So let me put the link up so folks have the link. All right, so yeah, right there at the bottom of the feed, there's the link to join the panel. Like I said, you just throw that in your phone's browser or your device browser, your Google Chrome, your Microsoft Edge, whatever you're using. Throw it in your browser, and let's see, you can come on the panel with us live. Let's see, you can cut your camera off if you choose. If you're scared to have your face on the camera, we understand. But I just throw that in your browser to let you join in. And let's see, you can come on the panel and engage with us in this conversation. I'll also drop the link in all of the chat feeds on the Kandid Konvos page, so you can catch it off the Quay Price page as well. But man, this has been an interesting week. Couple things have transpired.
Already.
Right. Couple things have transpired, which is what led us to the topic tonight. So yeah, let me go and lay that out. So the topic for tonight: do you want to be married? Let me run that back for everybody who didn't hear it. Topic for tonight: do you want to be married? All right. So let me drop this link off the screen so we can get into this. Okay. So of course, I receive videos, I receive posts, I receive all type of stuff, right? Which typically provides context for these conversations. Tonight is no different. So I got a video I'm going to throw up just due to something that I saw the other day that I think applies in this conversation. And I also have a post that I'm going to put up as well that really drives home the point or the reason for tonight's conversation. So let me kick us off with this video. Then we're going to hit the post right after that. Then we're going to get into this conversation. All right.
Men's like when a girl be bad about her money. I'm telling you right now, he don't want you to be home cooking and all that, act like no wife. Don't let him fool you. Trust me, he wants you in your bag. So when you in your bag, you inspire him to get in his bag. Trust me, he wants you in your bag, lady. And it ain't that he wants your money, he just want to be inspired by his woman. A real man want his woman to inspire him. I wake up in the morning, I be like, where my peace and where my money? Yeah, me and Mella don't be on all that in the mornings. You better hurry up at nighttime. You better catch me for meditation. After meditation, I turn into this new lady.
All right. So that was the first bit of context, right? We gonna
Friends, what?
You know what? Let me do something just based on that right there.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
All right. So that was the first bit of context, right? We're going to get into the second one. This is what really is driving. And I said, we're going to touch back on that video, but we're going to get into the second one that's really driving this conversation. So I was involved in a post that, a young lady posted. I'm not going to put her name out there. But she made a post, I think it was yesterday, about the fact that the dating process these days is a little whack. It's a struggle, if you will. And she made that post and I responded. I'm like, hey, it's nothing wrong with, getting a little help, in the dating market. And then she responded back to me. So I'm going to put that post up. And then we're going to get into this conversation. So this was her response to me. She said, it's no shade. I'm acknowledging I do need help. but it's just not married people in 15-year marriages that should be helping. I'm happy for you all, but just leave me alone. It's hard enough without someone else adding their 2 cents. That is wrong and outdated. So that was her response. So yeah, I want to have this conversation because, looking at the video that I put up from, and I'm not sure if you guys are aware who that is. That her name, but she goes by the name of Coach Stormy, right? She's like a big MLM person, multimillionaire, that whole thing. But she's what you would classify as a, look at this. Put my name up. Shout out to Kamiki. But the young lady, Coach Stormy, she's one of these, I guess you consider them boss chicks or whatever you call them these days. And clearly, you can tell how she views or looks at men, right? But the second one, the post, when we talk about, I guess, someone who has been married for a certain amount of time, being out of touch or not well versed in the current or new dating market, or dating process, I have to question that, right? Because what that took me to is, do you really want to be married? Because at the end of the day, we have a lot of things that we go through in life, right? And at the same time, we have people that have come before us who have most likely went through similar things. And I know that is kind of the foundation of why a lot of folks tell people to get a mentor or seek a mentor, right? Because essentially, if you're trying to get somewhere and somebody else has gotten there, that may be who can help guide you down the path, or tell you the things to avoid, or how to move, or how to do your thing to get there, because they've gotten there or been through that process, or seen that process. So yeah, I want to get into this conversation. How do we see that these days? Do we think folks really want to get married? Do we see? Let me start there. Give me your thoughts on that. Yeah, do you think folks really want to get married?
I think that people in general like the idea of marriage. I think they like what they believe the benefits of marriage are. But I don't think that a lot of people are willing to do the work. I don't think that a lot of people are willing to do the work to make a relationship work. And I don't think that a lot of people are willing to do the work to fix themselves, so that they can be in a committed relationship. And a monogamous relationship commitment is different than a marriage commitment. When you commit to be tied to someone in every sense of the word, it is different, because it's not the same get out clause. The get out clause look a little different. It's a lot of red tape in that get out clause. Not only that, but even people who aren't necessarily religious have to know that those vows that you take have a spiritual foundation. So this is not just a commitment that you make in front of a judge or in front of two witnesses. It's a commitment that you also make in front of God. So it's ordained. And I just think that, a lot of people like the way it sounds. They like the way it might look. They like the way it feels, but not a lot of people want to do the work. So I'll say that. And I also say this, part of me wants to say, when somebody says, and I'll be honest, this is the flesh talking. This is not the spirit. It's not the Holy Spirit speaking right now. But the petty princess in me wants to say, well, since you don't want my 15 years plus advice, then you go be single and I'm gonna be married. But that's not the way to really respond. because somebody who is at a point where, the logically speaking, you would want to speak to someone who has been or has done something that you claim you want to do. I also question why you don't want that. Now, I'll concede that dating in 2022 is different. I'll give you that. But the principles of how to be in a relationship that lasts has not changed, because we're talking about a mindset, we're talking about certain qualities and traits, we are talking about staying power. And I think that anyone who has been able to successfully do that has something that they can teach you. The thing is, you got to be open to it. You can't want for somebody to tickle your ears. You can't want for somebody to commiserate with you because of your bad experiences. You gotta heal from those bad experiences. You gotta grow from those bad experiences. You gotta take those bad experiences and you gotta go, that didn't work out. What I'm doing isn't working. So talking to my peers who are also dating the same way I'm dating, that isn't working for me. So what haven't I done? What can I do? That's like me saying, you know, the people who came before me, my mom who taught me how to be a wife, who helped me understand how to be a wife, who taught me how to cook, who taught me how to clean. Like, that's like saying, Mom, it's 2022. We don't do it like that no more. Okay, no, maybe we don't use the same products, but at the end of the day, she teaching me how to do something that I can apply at least some of what she's teaching me to what I'm doing, if not all, right? So I think that we have to get to the point where we're not stuck in this negative, self-serving mindset. You know, we gotta, get out our feelings and, let go, like heal. Because sometimes when I hear people speak, and I'm always speaking in general, because that post is not the feelings of just one person. That's the feelings of a lot of people. So I'm speaking in general. Like, we gotta heal, because anytime somebody is really trying to help you for real, and you get to the point where you in your feelings because you feel like they've walked a path, are currently on a path, and because I'm gonna be honest, from my perspective, it just looked like you don't want to do the work. So if you can say that I'm outdated with my knowledge, then I can say honestly, because that's your feelings and you have a right to them. Then I can say from my POV that you don't want to do the work. See, what I'm telling you is there's gonna be some stuff you're gonna have to do. I'm telling you because I had to do it. I'm telling you that there's going to be an experience you're going to have. I'm telling you that there's going to be some compromises you're going to have to. I'm telling you that basically what you want is unrealistic. I'm not telling you that because I couldn't do it or I couldn't get it. So that means I'm trying to, I'm trying to make you settle. It's not that. It's I had the same idealistic expectations that you had. I had to learn that they were not realistic. And so I think that sometimes when you start to talk to people and you're not telling them what they want to hear, then they want to shut down on you instead of saying, okay, let me put that away and try to digest that. Is there something that I can get out of that will help me? All of it may not apply, but I think we missed an opportunity when we just shut down. And that's even me at the point that I'm at. Because there's couples who have been together longer than me. That when I hit a rub, when I'm like, okay, this is something that I don't know how to navigate this, then I need to talk to somebody who has navigated this before, not somebody who's still out there trying to figure it out. That's just my personal opinion, and I'll land my plane.
Okay. I appreciate that. See Prince. See we got Mickey on the show as well. You guys got anything you want to say at all?
I'm gonna say this. I think I understand her point of view about that people been in the that's been on the shelf. I say it like that. Don't understand how the dating world is. That's a true statement because it evolves, it grows, it changes. It might be the same lines and everything, but everybody needs changes. So I think the needs are changing in the dating game. And I think as far as marriage has never evolved. It stayed the same. But it's like what's not broken, don't fix it. Apparently marriage, the concept the way it is broken. Because people do not want to be married or have a problem with being married or try to be married. And it's like too much work, you know what I'm saying, to stay married. And, everybody said anything easy you're going to lose it. You know what I'm saying? So marriage shouldn't be easy, but at the same time, it shouldn't be as hard. You know what I'm saying? So I think what she's saying is a valid point that, hey, there is a gap with this time of dating that people want to be couples, want to be together. There's a big gap in that because nobody wants to be married or tied down when they got options and stuff like that. I hate to say options, but they can move.
Go ahead and say it, see Prince. You say they got options. Go ahead and say it, man. You got to hold nothing back.
Yeah, they got options. You mean because guess what? You got to think about when you marry, you always got a time. You committed to somebody that you might outgrow, or your taste changes. I hate to say that because y'all know how to keep one another. Because that's the problem. People don't know how to keep one another. So when you marry, instead of being able to leave, it's hard to leave because you're under a contract. To be honest, you're under a contract. You know what I'm saying? Because marriage is not a contract. It's actually a verbal communication between two people and understanding. But when you're under a contract, you have legal responsibility when you sign that marriage license and stuff like that. So people are taking a chance. It's like, I'm just going to date this person for 20 years. We want to be together, but I ain't taking that thing with that. I don't want nobody to tie me down in case something do go wrong. So it's like a 50-50 chance. So you got to give, marriages evolve. So I think not having a wedding per se, legal contract, marriage certificate doesn't stop people from being married spiritually and not like that. As long as they're happy, we shouldn't even frown on. They should live their lives. They committed to one each other, and that's all that matters to in the long end. As long as they committed to each other, that's all I say.
Okay, I'm gonna circle back to some stuff you said. Mickey, you want to say something, or you good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you want it. Okay. I was the one that made the comment.
Mickey, I wouldn't even putting you. Wait a minute.
It's fine. I want to be put out there because it is what it is. I'm not ashamed of what I said.
Go ahead.
I'm not ashamed at all. And I think to see Prince's point, all I was trying to say is I'm not saying I don't want advice. I'm saying there is a disconnect between people who are married and people who are single. The gap that we're referring to is the gap to get to marriage, not to be married or be in it or stay in it. I'm just trying to get to the end goal, which is marriage. And all I'm saying is it's different. I was just talking to a friend yesterday about IG didn't exist when I was dating 10 years ago, right? I didn't have to compete with Instagram models and BBLs and Kevin Samuels of the world. So if you see the post today, it says, damn, I wish I would have thought of this sooner. And that's not saying my marriage would have lasted. I don't know what would have happened 10 or 15 years ago. But what I'm saying is my ideas about marriage and what was, in my opinion, easier 10 or 15 years ago is not the same as what I'm dealing with today. So when someone who is married now and have been married for a minimum of 10 years, I'm sorry, I don't think you can relate to what I'm going through right now to get to the end goal of marriage. And That's not to say I haven't put in the work. I was single for 5 years. I have worked on myself. I have done all the things. I have been to therapy. I've been to counseling, all the things. And again, it is also offensive to me for someone to say, I haven't done the work, or my expectations are realistic. Everybody has an opinion or entitled to their opinion. All I'm asking for is for people to have sympathy towards a single person and what they're dealing with today, and to acknowledge it's not the same as 10 years ago, and to stop inserting themselves in a place where it doesn't apply to them, because you have to acknowledge that 10, 15 years ago, it was different. And that's all I'm saying. It was just different.
Okay, so to be fair, since I'm the one who made the comment about doing the work, so first and foremost, nothing that I ever say is ever intended to be offensive.
And
right?
I'm sorry, that wasn't directed towards you, Chloe. That was people as a whole, because I've heard that before. But so don't take it that way. But I've heard it a lot. Like, and this is over the course of since I've been 30. Did you do the work? Did you do the work? Like, how you know I didn't do the work?
And that's fair. And that's fair to that's fair. That's fair, because the truth is nobody's gonna know what you've been through or what you've done. So that's fair. For me, I think the trouble with having a general conversation is there's always going to be some people that it hits on and some people that it doesn't, right?
Sure,
so
absolutely.
there's times where there might be some people who haven't taken the time to even try to work on themselves. And that's when you go, well, you haven't done anything. Like, you haven't done any work. You want it to come to you, but you haven't put in any effort. And then there's going to be people in that group that it doesn't apply, right?
Absolutely.
So that's, I'll just say that it may not apply to everyone. It's a general consensus, right? And I'll concede that I wouldn't want to be someone who had to date in this climate. I personally wouldn't want to be someone who had to date in this climate. My only request to someone who's dating in this climate is, while I understand that social media was not a thing like it is now, that all these dating apps was not a thing like it is now, like I totally get that it's harder to meet people and really get to know them. And that we didn't have that particular obstacle at that time. It was a bit different. So I get that part. The part that I'm speaking to of not necessarily want to do the work is, I see, and this is just my personal perspective, I see a lot of women who do very much have unrealistic expectations. Like, they really believe that they're gonna find a man making $350,000 and he gonna it's all this stuff. Like, some of these expectations is crazy. And these women ask for all of these things, but then you ask them something simple like, okay, well, what you going to bring to the relationship if he got all this stuff? And they can't even sell themselves. They don't even know their own value. They can't tell it to you. Sure. So for me, there is a argument that your expectations are unrealistic. And then even going into a marriage, or even wanting to be in a committed, let's just say getting to the point where you're in a committed relationship, even getting to that part where you're dating consistently the same person monogamously. Like, there is some, I just gotta be honest, like there's some qualities that I'm seeing in women in the 2022 woman that's different. It's different. And I'm not saying that the man ain't different either. I mean, but it's different for me. Like, it's for me, the spirit of these people that's trying to date right now and then are saying things like, I can't find nobody. And I'm like, have you actually done any kind of self-examination to make sure that there isn't anything about you that's stopping people from wanting to be in a relationship with you and date you? Like, some people talk reckless out their mouth. They're saying all kinds of things. There's a lot of arrogance. There's a lot of pride. There is no accountability. People do not want to take accountability for their actions or anything like that. They seem to think they're perfectly fine. Nothing is wrong with them. And I've never met a perfect person, myself included. But this is the general consensus. And then they want to take all of that into the dating world and say, I can't find nobody to be with me. And I want people, if I can do anything, please, I'm trying to encourage you that married people and unmarried people alike, there's work that we have to do on ourselves in order to be in these relationships that we claim we want to be in. And the work doesn't stop, by the way. The work is continual. It's called growth. It's called progress. I'm 14 years in and I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I haven't stopped learning. And I think people get to the point where they were like, well, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did that. Check, 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 check. Where my person at? And I just think that mentality is going to hinder a lot of people.
You want to say something, Vince?
Well, I've been married for 3 years, and so I was out here dating. I married my first wife when I was 22, got divorced at 24. So I was single for 20 some odd years. So I've been in the dating field, during the social media, and I think the main issue of
No, Vince, are you getting is anybody else getting feedback on their end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Vince, you got a little static or something coming through, man.
Can you hear me now?
Still got some static in it.
Is that better?
Say it again.
Is that better?
No, it's still there a little bit. Maybe.
Do you have headphones? Sometimes that works. Because iPhones do that sometimes. They do that.
What I'll do is I'll carry them off and go get my earpods and come back.
Okay, all right, cool, man.
Okay.
Go ahead, C Prince. Then I'm respond. Go ahead, C Prince.
I want to say this. Nowadays, men do not want no traditional woman.
Wait. Say that again.
They don't want that traditional stay-at-home type woman. They
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
Listen to this. You
Man,
can say that because guess what? Since the 80s, it's been a movement to move the woman out and become part of the workforce. So realistically, this is not something that's happened overnight. It progressed to this.
Yeah, but that's not being mean, though.
No, because guess what? Because now if you think about it, most people think that 2 incomes is better for the house. You know what I'm saying? They don't look at the children, the white picket fence or that. They look at the income before they look at the family. And they know it takes 2 to survive in the modern day world. And some are lucky to have enough money to take care of themselves and others. But realistically, the average person have to have 2 people or 2 family income to survive. So with that being said, yes, the dating game has changed because now people are now looking what benefits them. Do I get this relationship not because I want children? What benefits do I get with being with this man? And if children come with it, that's what is going to happen. And vice versa. Men look at the same thing. This is a benefit dating pool. This ain't let's date because we love each other and stuff like that. This is benefits. You know what I'm saying? So it changed. Even people stay in marriage because of benefits and whatever they benefit from. So it's not.
But see, but see, Prince, see, that's part of the problem, man. See, we back to that selfish stuff again. And see, this is the reason for the title. Yep. Do you want to be married? Yes, we talking about these finances. We talking about these benefits. We talking about what I get, and it's just like that's not even the foundation of a marriage. See, that's part of the problem. I don't think that the dating scene has to be the way that it is. Folks got to come up off of all this selfish stuff. See, what we got going on is, and I watch this stuff a lot, which is why I wanted to do this topic, because I still believe that a old married couple is a huge benefit to have access to for somebody who is dating in current day. And the reason I say that is because we're in a situation where we've normalized current day dating, and it ain't right. See, you don't have to date via Instagram. You don't have to date via Tinder and whole lot of fish and whatever other little apps that everybody want to be on. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's that lazy stuff. Yeah, let me keep it a buck. That's that lazy stuff. That's that swipe left mentality. And see, if that's all of the effort that you're willing to put in out the gate, then it's gonna be a struggle for you to go find somebody to be married to. And we got to come up off of that. See, we've gotten to a situation where social media has made us lazy. Yeah, but everybody gets a chance to see all of these fake marriages on social media, all these fake posts. The female who look like she just living it up every day. All you ever see is Louboutins, Prada, YSL, and everything else, but you don't see none of the arguments. You don't see none of the fights. You don't see none of the kids throwing up. You don't see none of that. Yeah, all you see is the Mercedes SL driving down the street and she looking like everything gold. And the same with the dude. All you see is the diamonds and the jewelry and the Rolexes and the properties, but you don't see none of the other stuff. And at this point, we have given social media too much power because it's not realistic. But what it is it's easy. And that's the problem, because dating ain't never been easy. Marriage ain't never been easy. Yeah, we want everything to be easy and we want everything instantly. Yeah, we don't want to have no patience for nothing. We just want to swipe. Oh, he cute. Oh, she cute. Let me get him a ping. And then when it don't go right, we come back and we say we can't find no good people out here. Yeah, we've normalized this stuff that ain't normal. And that's a lot of the problem. And see, at the end of the day, you know, someone who may be or have been married for 15 years, they ain't been there and done that. They done seen a little bit of this new stuff. They done seen the old school way. They done seen a little bit in the middle. And on top of that, they probably have taken some levels of mentorship from parents before them, grandparents, and so forth. So they got a whole collective of information and background that they can share and advise on. But do you want that information? Back to the topic. Do you really want to be married? So I'm gonna stop right there. I got more, but I'm gonna stop right there. Vince, you want to take another shot at it, man?
How's my sound quality now?
Say it again.
How's my sound quality now? Still bad?
That sounds good. I think it's good right there. Go ahead and say something else.
It's a little bit better, yeah.
Okay. Well, the thing that I was saying in the dating game is that I would date a certain lady. I would ask her, well, why do you want to be married? And it was more of, well, everybody wants to be married. So I would say, well, why do you want to be married? And most of the time it was just because, well, I'm tired of dating.
I will say this, Vince. So it's going up and down. So sometimes you clear, and then the next minute it goes muffled, then it goes clear. So it's doing a little mixture.
Is that better? I'm in my basement. Maybe I should go upstairs.
Yeah, no, it's still muffled. You don't have nothing over the mic or anything like that?
No, nothing over the mic.
Yeah, it's muffled. Try this, man. Why don't you try just disconnecting? Like just disconnect and come back in, and let's see if that'll correct it. Because I want to hear what you got to say. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
So, I guess that's me then. So y'all gonna wait for him to come in. So listen here. That's what I'm gonna say. Everybody do not want to be married.
I can agree with that.
Everybody wants a partner. Marriage is optional.
Okay, well, hold on. Hold on. I don't mean to cut you, but I got to get some clarity on what you said. So you said everybody doesn't want to be married, but everybody wants to be partners.
I can agree with that.
Listen to this. Marriage is different.
Hold on. I just want to make sure I clear this. I just want to make sure you're not saying that everybody wants to be married, but they don't want to be a wife or a husband.
No, I'm saying that they don't want that stigmatism of being married.
I think there's some people like that.
Because you forget at one time common law was recognized as a legal marriage, and they didn't have to go down to the courthouse to do it. Common law marriage was, and mostly most great grandparents were common law married. They didn't go down to the courthouse; they were just common law married because they stayed with each other for a point of time. So guess what? They had the understanding enough knowledge to know that they wanted to be together. They didn't need that piece of paper to say that they was married. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them older couples just changed their last name to their man's last name, and that's how they did it. They didn't go down to the courthouse and get married. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about this. People want to be together, but when it comes to marriage, it's a different thing because now you talk about financial commitments and all kinds of other commitments. But guess what? Before you was married, you didn't have no problems with your finances or anything. But so you got that marriage, things change because now you think you got ownership of somebody. You see what I'm saying? So you think about that. People want to be together, but they don't want that burden of saying that somebody might own me or, because men say, you have my last name now. You know what I'm saying? They say slick stuff like that to women. And women be like, you feeling trapped in their marriage. A lot of people don't understand that before it was
Right.
marriage certificate, people were just with each other. You know what I'm saying? They were married, they took their name and stuff, but all of a sudden in modern times, you have to be married. You have to have this thing, the contract and all this stuff. So a lot of things is, it's forced upon us to have benefits and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. It's all about a benefit. Marriage is nothing but a contract that gives a person benefits. That's how I look at it. I mean, people like, I might be wrong. I might be right. But at the same time, guess what?
Bruh.
What?
Go ahead.
Think about this like this. If you take these marriage contracts away, or marriage license away, and people are staying with each other for 20, 30 years, they ain't married, and they leave themselves like that. What's wrong with that? I don't see what's wrong. If a woman chooses to change her name to her man's name, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that from a female perspective? You know what's wrong with that? I have a problem with that.
Why?
I'm gonna tell you why I have a problem with that. Because if you have every intention to stay with me 20, 30, 40, forever years, then while I do agree that this whole society has been set up, it's all a scam. Like, I totally understand where you're coming from that standpoint. Okay. I get that. But my thing is, if you're willing and you're saying you want to stay with me forever and you can stay with me for 20, 30, 40, 50 forever years, then I don't understand why you can't make it legal. Like, I don't understand that. Like, to me as a woman, it does not make sense for me. You have a contract for somebody to do service for your house or anything else. You have a contract just if you want to rent a property or a place. You got to sign on a dotted line just to do the most simple, to get a cell phone, the most simple and basic thing, because it's an agreement between you and that service provider. It's agreement between you and that person. It's an agreement. It says, I'm going to do this and you're going to do that. And while I would love for it to not have to take that, but at the same time, we do live in this society, which means that honor system is not a thing anymore here. It's not a real thing. So now you got a woman who has stayed with a man for 20 plus 30, whatever years. If anything happens to that man, if they have not solidified that in a way that's indisputable, she's not going to get anything from him, even if he wanted her to have it. He would have had to make sure he went through steps. Once again, you got to do something legal. You have to do something. That has to be documented. There got to be something. There's got to be a piece of paper somewhere with some legally binding signature on it. So why can't that legally binding signature be a marriage certificate? We have given marriage such a negative connotation these days. Yes, I understand that. No, maybe you shouldn't have to file anything with the state, or maybe you shouldn't have to go through that process. I get that. But at the same time, we are living in this society. We are, this is where we at, y'all. This is what it is. We're here. But we have to remember that marriage was originally instituted. And I know I'm going to go spiritual and people ain't with that and all this, but this is my POV. It was originally ordained by God. Two people are supposed to come together. They are supposed to vow to each other. They are supposed to make that level of commitment. It's supposed to be there. Now, maybe the piece of paper shouldn't have had to be there. But once again, we are a part of this system. So my thing is, yes, to make your marriage legit here, yeah, you gotta sign your name on something. Otherwise, it might as well not even be. So I mean, I know, Prince, where you gonna come from. You gonna tell me do this, do that, do this, do this. All I'm simply saying is, and I don't, all I'm simply saying is, on this particular topic, we have given marriage such a negative connotation. We have given it such a negative connotation now that, I mean, half the people, they want to get married, but completely, unrealistic about what marriage actually looks like. And then the other half of people don't want to get married because I got to sign my life away and this, that, and the third. And it's like, man, like, no wonder the male-female relationship, dating and relationships, I feel like we're making it harder on ourselves by just our mindsets, the way we look at this stuff now, the way we look at dating, the way we look at marriage, the way we look at trying to find somebody. Like, yeah, social media was not a thing. I'm sure that did take some of the pressure off of us when I was dating to be married. But at the same time, what it also meant is like my husband said earlier, I had to go out and I had to meet somebody. There was no swiping left. So yeah, I had to actually go out and meet. I actually had to put myself in a position where if a man was interested, he could approach me. Like, that took effort. You can't just discount that because now the dating scene is different. If anything, that's harder because I don't have no app to swipe through. I don't have a database of men I can screen. I didn't have that. So it had to happen organically or it didn't happen. I just want to make sure we're not making excuses. No, let's stop doing that because, and I'm not talking about you, C Prince. I'm just speaking in general. Like, I want to make sure we're not making excuses because I hear a lot of justifications from people when we start having these kinds of conversations. And I hear a lot of, well, this, that, and the third, and well, it's like this, and it's not like this. And it's like, once again, this is why the question is, do you actually want to be married? Do you? Because all I'm hearing right now is 11,000 excuses. So is you or is you ain't?
See, I say this was this. You have actually proved my point unintentionally. Because what you said was, if a woman's with a man for 20 years and they ain't married, she gets no benefits. That's what I said. Marriage is about benefits. Point blank.
No, it's not just about the benefits. Let's not reduce it.
No, I'm not reducing it. What I'm saying is, I know people who've been together 20, 30 years, and guess what? When they significant other passes, they got everything because that's what they call wills. It's not about
a legal document.
Come on, wait a minute.
Hold on. Huh? Go ahead. I'm gonna let you go because I know you're gonna slip. Go ahead.
I'm done. Oh no, I'm done.
If you're gonna sign a will and give somebody all your property, then why don't you just marry them?
Right.
Sign will. You gotta have a.
If you're gonna do that, you might as well get married, right? If you talk about you don't want nothing signed, then don't sign nothing.
Listen, even when you marry, you still have to have a will or it goes to probate. Regardless, wills are wills. So guess what? The argument you make only has weight
Marriage.
only in certain merits, but it don't have merits. What I'm saying is, if you want to be with somebody, it doesn't have to be a legal document, because guess what? What's more stronger than a legal document is when two people have a mutual understanding of where they want to be, point blank. Because guess what? If that's the case, there'll be no divorce in this country. Everybody will be stuck with the same person they with when they marry them. And guess what? That's not happening. That is not happening. Point blank. So, and when a person chooses to be with somebody, it has more weight than that legal document. And we put too much emphasis on a legal document.
Okay, that's not true. No, it's not. That's not true. I mean, I get that there are some legal aspects to being married, but if you really care, you can sign a document. You can sign all the documents. Okay.
So you try to tell me if somebody's with you, just because they
Hell
didn't sign
no.
a
No, I'm not being with you 20 years without a legal document. No. Is a no.
Just because they didn't sign that legal document, that means they love you. They don't love you just as much because they didn't sign that document.
Yeah, because we have other financial aspects to this marriage. There's other things that I am financially responsible for, whether you live or die.
But he didn't. But you didn't say he wasn't taking care of his financial responsibilities. You said.
Excuse me.
You said this. If he's with me and he don't sign that document, we have a problem. But
we talk about better for worse, right? So in that better for worse, you need to be signing a legal document to make sure that is taken care of.
Listen to this. If he's taking care of home for 20, 30 years, that don't mean that legal document.
You can take care of 4 or 5 different homes, but there's still an aspect of when you die, and for better or worse, sickness or health, death, do us part, all of that will be taken care of with a legal document.
See, that's what I'm saying. Listen to what you're saying. It doesn't matter if you put a legal document or not.
It does matter.
Hold on, tell you that. That's not going. A legal document is not going to keep you together. If you believe
no, but it's going to make sure certain financial aspects of our marriage are taken care of.
It is a benefit.
Who's going to help bury you? Who's going to pay for the expense to bury you? I love you. Of course, I want to bury you properly. Set those financial buckets aside for me to do so.
It's business. That's all it is business. That's like
it's not a full business, but I do. Financial part is part of a marriage. Don't ignore that.
Boom.
So we can say financials as well as legal obligations are aspects of a marriage. It's not all of it, but it is some of it. And we are definitely lying if we're gonna ignore that.
Go ahead, Vince. Go ahead, Vince. Let me let you cut in. Go ahead, Vince.
I think a lot of our problem is that we've done so many things out of marriage that was designed and ordained for it to be done in there. Having children is the main thing.
Man, I wish we can get this mic together, man. It's like your sound keeps going out, man. I'm trying to hear what you're saying. Yeah, it's like it keeps fading out. It starts out okay, then it fades out. So it's like it's muffled, like your hand is over the mic or something like that. I can't quite tell what it's doing. But it just keeps muffling out. It's still muffled, man. It's still muffled.
Maybe you have it on a wrong setting. Maybe you don't have it actually on your headphones. Maybe you just have it on the device itself. So if you could go to like the Bluetooth or the speaker icon and see what.
No, I can hear it through my ear.
Yeah, we just, like I said, it's just the mic part is muffled.
My son is screaming, so I don't know if that's an issue too.
Yeah, no, I can't tell what it is from my side, man, because I got limited control over that on this side.
Okay, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna get my wife to try to see what's going on here.
Okay, all right, man.
Okay. All right, sorry about this, y'all.
No, it's all good. I want to hear what you got to say.
He gonna get his wife. I'm sure that he has a legal agreement with.
Hey, listen, I ain't got no problem with it. But guess what? The sad
he called for help. Legal part is all taken care of.
I'm gonna tell you like this. We sat here, we volleyed about this benefit, right?
Other duties as assigned.
Let's think about this. I'm laughing because you so caught up in the benefit. And I'm saying like this.
I never said I was caught up in the benefit. I just said financial part is a part of it.
No. But think about this. When you talked and you said the financial was the most important part, guess what?
No, she didn't say that.
No. She said it's a part of it. It's a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
She named the things a part of it. But guess what she didn't love? She didn't name love in near one of them statements.
You never asked one, and I never said that it was all. I did not say that. I said part. I said part.
No, that was a part. So love is a part of it, but you didn't name. You didn't name.
Yes.
No, you didn't name.
You didn't ask me all the aspects. I said a part. We weren't
your
talking
story.
about love. We were talking about the legal aspects of marriage.
It's your story.
Let me say this.
Story. It's your story.
We was in the conversation around the contract and the marriage license and that whole thing. So I like I said, that I think that's what those points were pertaining to.
Oh,
so we brought up the fact that the financial piece was a part of it, right? But that wasn't the main piece or the primary piece of it all. That was from the legality perspective.
Right.
I got it. Go ahead, Chloe.
I just don't understand why we can accept that we live in a society that everything is a business. Everything. Why can we accept that with all these other scenarios, but then when it comes to marriage, it shouldn't be like that? It's like I don't understand that argument. To me, it's moot. Like everything is a business. Even your existence is a business. You have a social security number. Why you think they gave you one? Like everything is a business. You want to talk about somebody being property? We're property. But when it comes to marriage, it's like, well, so it's a business? No, Kevin Palmer, it's not about it being a business. It's about the fact that there are certain protections in place. There are certain things that both a man and a woman can benefit from by having the legalities in place. Listen, I just had somebody who lost someone, their spouse, and they had to go through, and they were legally married, and even then, like, there was a little bit of a situation. It got handled, but what I'm trying to say to you is, she had rights and benefits that her husband would have wanted her to have. He would have wanted her to have those. This is why, unfortunately, in this society, there needs to be some type of legal document. And like Nicole said, if you're willing, and Vince was saying it before he had to jump off, but if you're willing to sign your name on any type of legal document that says, if I'm said wife, would get this, that, and the third, then why is it not a marriage certificate? Like, so you okay with it being a business when it's this, when it's that, when it's the other thing. But when it comes to marriage, that's going to tie you into something personally, you go, oh, I'm not really comfortable with that. This feels like a business. And it's like, at that point, I'm like, stop the cat. Because if you can sign your name for the plumber to do a work permit for the plumber to come into your house and do some work on the plumbing, and that's a legally binding agreement, but you say you want to be with me forever, but you can't, you got a problem with signing your name to that? So like, of course, love is a part of it, but at the same time, we can't ignore that there are certain aspects of this existence that are just real.
So let me just clarify something real quick. So to Kevin's point about, so it's a business. So to be truthful, there is business aspects to a marriage. There's expenses, there's income, there's liabilities. So there are business aspects to a marriage, right? And we also know that, folks have been quote unquote married without marriage licenses and all of that in common law. So all that stuff exists. So we know all of that. But that stuff is essentially at the end. We having a problem even getting to that point, right? So that's where we got to tackle. We can't get to the marriage point. So the license and all that's over there, but we can't even get that far, right? So yeah, I got to circle us back, because at the end of the day, we got a problem pre-marriage license or pre-common law. We got a problem before that. Let me Vince, take another shot at it, man.
Okay.
Go ahead.
That's better?
It's a little better.
Okay, yeah, I moved to a different area of the house.
Wait, I thought it was. Hold on. Say something else.
So many of us.
Yes, it's still low, man.
Okay, I'm just gonna listen, man. I don't want to keep disturbing the guy. I'm sorry.
You ain't got no laptop or no computer over there, man?
Actually, I do. Let me try to get on the laptop.
Yeah, hop on the laptop. That should be straight through, man. I want to hear what you got to say.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Once again.
So let's
Listen.
I want to give in song. I definitely want to hear what you got to say on this topic. So let's circle back for a minute. Because I really want to understand something. Are we looking at a situation where folks really just want to be married on paper, but they don't really want to be a wife and a husband and actually put in the work? Yeah, I'm really curious about that. Is that really what we're dealing with? A situation where folks like the excitement or the comfortability in being married, but they don't actually want to go through the ugly part of being married?
I would say they like the comfortability of it for sure. I mean, I can only really speak on my generation and what I've seen, given the social media age. And really, to be honest, given my current location in the county that I'm in, there are people that are kind of known amongst my age group who are married, and it does seem a little glamorized on Instagram. Like it's the extra expensive stroller with the baby, and the girl has this dress on with her husband. And of course, given the photograph, we know you didn't take it. We know that you have like a whole video team, and then you're posting when you bought this house and it's in the city and all this stuff. And it's no real conversations about, well, how did you get there? So I think people, from what I've seen, do like the comfortability of it. And to be honest, there is like this huge pressure on what the woman looks like. Like she popping out a kid and all of a sudden she's back to almost her normal weight with more curves. Like, huh? How does that work? Normal people are not doing that.
We're gonna have to touch that. That's
I'm serious. I am serious. I don't want to give people Instagrams names, but there are a few, and I'm sitting here like, but I know your family's rich, so what the hell are you talking about? Like, okay.
I'm gonna say this. Marriage, like I said, people are not. Marriage is benefits. And I'm gonna stay on this. Everybody like this. Marriage is benefits. Today is benefits, because you gotta think about it.
I would say not entirely.
The majority it is, because the state.
And I would say, in my case, the aspect of student loans, I don't think it's a benefit.
Hold on. We ain't talking student loans. We talking marriage.
I know, but I'm just saying.
She talking debt.
Okay. Debt. I'm telling you like this.
So it's not always a benefit.
Listen to this. It is a benefit. It's just how you look at the benefit. Who's the benefit. So
somebody's willing to take my debt just because they love me. Okay.
It's possible. Don't knock it.
Not so because they love me.
But check it out.
I had to do something to make that up.
Yeah, so you got to think about this. You have most states took away common law marriage. Why? Because it didn't benefit them. They wasn't making money on common law marriages. So guess what? They forced, most states, common law marriage is not even recognized no more. You know what I'm saying? So now, once again, you got a man who worked 30, 20 years with a woman that now the states don't even recognize the common law marriage. So she gets no benefits. I understand that concept. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the business side of what the states are doing, to be real. But I think nowadays, when you think about, do people want to be married, most of them don't. Because, like I said, women they're successful. I hate to say it, I ain't gonna hate to say it, I love to say it. Most women are successful. Most men are not. You know what I'm saying? It's reversal. And the only one benefiting really is the man when he get that nice woman with that nice income, to be honest, because there's a lot more women with better incomes than men. And you can see that. A lot of people are like, oh no. But at the same time, like y'all say, we talk about on the show all the time how men need to get their acts together and stuff like that and stop sitting at home playing Xboxes and stuff like that. We talk about it. So we know it's a fact that the women are being successful and they got better drives than men nowadays. So, and I'm not saying all men, but majority, there's a lot of men out there that's failing as men. So why? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Why would you marry him? But at the same time, why would you have kids by him? A lot of these women have kids by these workers and stuff. So you think about it. Marriage right now, the way it is, you obligate, and 9 times you're going to obligate to somebody who doesn't benefit you.
Wait, hold up. So let me go back into some stuff that you just said. So you're saying that folks or we got less marriages because we have more successful women? Like is that
I'm saying, yeah, when you guys, I say like this, women, they stepped at the game. They stepped at the game. We can't knock it. They stepped at the game. Men, we stagnated in a sense, to be honest. But you want to be head of the household. You know what I'm saying? Then you get with a woman that intimidates you because of her finance or her career expectations. Because I see a lot of my friends, they go through it.
Okay. Hold up, C. Prince. Hold on, C. Prince. I hold on, man. Some of this stuff, we have to really examine what we are absorbing, right? So I hear this a lot, and I have a major problem with it. So I keep hearing that men are intimidated by successful women.
I said some men are. Yeah, they are. I mean, I see, I ain't gonna reveal my income, stuff like that, but you see it.
No, I get that.
You see it. You see it, but at the same time, it is not because they're not good together. It's just the fact of the matter. Some people are intimidated when people make just as much or more than them. And that's just egos. That's just egos because like most men who make money like to have control over their women. Like, I am the breadwinner. I do this, I do that. But when they meet their equal, it's hard for them to understand.
Yeah, but see, that's the problem. See, we pushing all of these narratives, right? So let me just say this. And I just got to say this because it's got to be said. Men and women are not equal. That's the first thing.
Period.
Now, if you want to say that a woman is making the same amount of money as a man, then let's say that. But men and women are not equal. We never were. We never will be. So I need us to let that narrative go.
So you need a slap for that one.
I mean, I'm a clarification. I mean, I understand what you're saying. That I'm talking equal as far as finances. So I don't know. I need to understand what you mean by equal. I was talking about their finances.
Well,
so
I hear that a lot, right? We've gotten to the point in current day where we're trying to say because a woman makes this amount of money and a man makes this amount of money, that they are equal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not accurate. Yep, that's not accurate. See, we've minimized everything to money. We've thrown out everything else that makes a man and everything else that makes a woman a woman. We done threw that out the door. Everything now is just money. And see, this is why a lot of folks keep going around talking about men are intimidated by women that make more money than them, or men are intimidated by successful women. That's cap. Because at the end of the day, the more money in the pot, the better off you are. So all this intimidation stuff, like all of a sudden men is them became weaker or something because a woman makes more money than them. That's cap. See, that's all a part of this narrative that's been being pushed for a long time, specifically in the Black community. Yeah, we were always pushing these narratives of somehow how the Black man is weaker or under the Black woman. Yep, it always comes out, the Black woman she's more educated than the Black man. The Black woman, she's more successful than the Black man. The Black men are becoming stagnant. The black woman is you know, she don't need a man and all this. This all narrative. Yep, this is all narrative, because at the end of the day, we out of order. That's the main problem. We out of order. And at the end of the day, in any relationship, and I'm gonna call it exactly how I'm about to call it. Ain't no relationship gonna work if it's two men.
Ooh.
And I'm not even talking about from a sexual perspective. Yep, ain't no relationship going to be successful if there's two men in the relationship. Yeah, we got to cut this mess out, because see, a lot of this stuff is the reason why we can't even date right. Yep, a lot of this stuff is why we can't keep these marriages together. A lot of this stuff is why we can't find compatibility, because we've minimized everything to just money. How much money he got. This dude might be the best dude for you, but no, he ain't making enough. Like we done got so far off track. Like this is why stuff is all out of whack. We done got so far off track, and see these old heads who came before us, they didn't think like this. They wasn't talking like this. Yep, daddy was taking himself to work, bringing the money home. Mama was at home taking care of the house, taking care of them kids, making sure stuff was good. She might even worked a little job too alongside of him, and still came home and took care of home, took care of the kids, made sure he was good, made sure she was good. He brought the bacon home and did whatever, worked his 20 hours a day and whatever, and took care of the family. Now we minimizing everybody to some money. But if you go talk to any of these ladies before us, they gonna tell you it's a lot more to a man than just his money. Yeah, this mess is out of whack, man. Like it's bad. Yep, it's bad. And see, this type of thinking and this mindset is woven all into our dating and courting process. Yeah, you got dudes now who don't even want to properly court a woman because they got to spend some money.
That part.
You have women now who don't want to spend no time or entertain a dude because he didn't choose to take them to a 4-star restaurant on their first date. Like this mess is all out of whack. It's all out of whack. Yep, and then you slap these narratives behind it, and it's a disaster waiting to happen. So then it takes us back to the title. Do you even want to be married if this is how we thinking?
I don't think narratives is, I mean, there is narrative and there's some truth. Oh, you gonna talk, Nicole? Go ahead.
I was going to say, to the narrative about the black woman making more than a black man and him being weak, all of that. I am very tired of that narrative, and what I don't hear is that conversation being amongst other races. There is no problem with the woman and her aspirations. If you want to go do that, fine. I'm going to do this. This costs this amount of money. Okay, you put this money aside here. Great. I just, even where I work now, the pay spectrum ranges, and amongst people of Indian descent, you know, couples that are engineers together in the same department, that is not a narrative or issue. And I will honestly say, unfortunately, is kind of getting to the point for me where I'm questioning if dating my race is going to be a thing.
Wait a minute.
That's a topic. That's a topic.
It is, and no, seriously, I'm
serious too.
Really do not hear that, and I'm just looking like, why is this a thing? Like that's so such a small thing to what the full relationship or marriage should be. Is the conversation that should be discussed, and I look at that and I'm in absolute awe. Like it is so. It's a small detail to what the relationship or marriage should be.
See,
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna say this. Not once did I say the black man was weaker or beneath a black woman. Didn't say that.
Correct.
That wasn't my statement. I said financially, they are equals. I didn't say nothing else but financially. They're being successful. I never say nothing about a man being weak, because it doesn't matter how much a man makes as long as he carries himself as a man. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
not what you said, though.
No. I didn't say nothing else. I said what y'all went and said. I didn't say no weak man. I didn't say no weak man at all. You see what I'm saying?
You didn't say that. But
Yeah.
no, like I said, I hear these narratives.
Yeah,
I hear them all the time.
It's like this. Understand this. The only reason why that narrative is so prevalent in our community is because of the black women.
Excuse me?
Women. Not the men. Because guess what?
Do tell.
Do tell, because guess what?
My God.
Listen, it's about to go down, because you're going to play. I'm going to play with you. Now, listen to this.
I'm not playing. I'm dead ass.
Listen to this. Because guess what? There's been shows that we talked about the financial incomes and stuff of men, and you was like, oh no, they gotta have a certain standards and levels, stuff like that. Understand this. Y'all press these levels and stuff, because guess what? Y'all ain't gonna date that dude, that good dude.
I don't know why you're saying y'all. You could say them.
No, y'all. I'm saying that y'all ain't gonna date that. No. You ain't going to McDonald's for that good. Don't try that. Don't try that. That dude making like $8 an hour. Don't try that. Don't say you're gonna be there.
Minimum wage is like 15. I don't think nobody making $8.
Look at this. Hold on. But it shouldn't matter, because he's a good dude. And he got the qualities you need. But you see what I'm saying? So don't say that.
We understand.
Talk about the narrative of money. Well, guess what? It's actually the woman who pushed the narrative of money. Because guess what? You ain't gonna ride my bicycle with me. You gonna get somebody with a car, hands down. So you ain't gonna walk. You gonna catch a taxi or a bus or something before you walk with that man. Understand this? Y'all drive that narrative, and then y'all complain about it when the narrative brought to y'all. So guess what? Sometimes women need to shut their mouth and go for the ride, hands down.
I'm not going for that one. I can tell you that much. I am conscious enough to know that may not be a good choice.
No. So that's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm saying. Women, y'all want to sit there and say, hey, y'all don't want to get married, but guess what? Y'all don't want to marry no broke dude or mediocre. Y'all set the wrong standards and then complain about how y'all are treated from these black men. So guess what? You get what you deserve. And I'm gonna say it like that. Wow.
That's why I said them, not y'all, because I am not in that. So again, them, not y'all.
Let me get this comment. Let's see. Peter he
going there. He going there.
He called it out directly. He said, Nicole. He said, but what type of standards do those other nationalities have for their women and presenting their wives to their families? Do those women clean, cook, etc.? What you say?
I would say there's probably an aspect of teamwork which is also missing.
He said, "Do they?"
I answered this question. What are you talking about?
That what the question said. This ain't nothing about no teamwork. Do these women clean, cook, and etc.? That's what the question. Most of these women that be taken care of, guess what they gonna do?
I'm sure there's an aspect of agreement and standards set as well. So probably some things don't have to be explained.
So let's go there. I see.
Please do.
I see we're gonna have to take this turn. So let me go ahead and go there. So we got two ladies. So we got Nicole and we got Mickey on the panel right now. So I'm about to ask you a question. Let's go on and get it popping.
I'm sorry, I was gone on a work call, so I didn't hear nothing. But just
I'm gonna get right into it. I got a question for y'all since y'all sitting on the panel. So, based on what y'all been experiencing so far, would it be easier for y'all to just go get y'all the bread and call it a day?
Wait, what is a bread? Define. Wait a minute.
You know what a bread is.
Yeah.
Can we define the bread first? Hold on. I could be missing something.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Send me bread right now.
I need the full definition of Brad for the youngins in the back.
Mickey, help her out. What's
I
a
said for the
brand?
youngins in the back.
Help her out, Mickey. What am I asking?
Man, I've been gone for 20 minutes and I already know. Listen,
I said,
Brad is the quintessential white boy. You don't have to be white. You don't really got to be white.
that's why I asked. I'm like,
Yeah.
does he have?
He
That
could be
was
other.
kind of the question. I'm like, does he have to be?
No, he does not have to be white. Because, yeah, I feel like, and no shade to the black men, but I just feel like other cultures have been taught to cultivate that husband and wife traditional standard as opposed to what we've been taught.
Okay.
Wait. I'm so, wait. You said that you feel like those men have been taught the traditional standards. Okay, but their women have as well.
Yes.
So that's why when Nicole said earlier that she was like, certain things don't have like the whole financial, men make more money than some women make more money than men. That conversation isn't happening in other nationalities. But also that's because they don't argue as much about roles. Like they are okay having a role. So it doesn't, and I think that might be why the finances aren't also as big of a issue between them. And obviously right now at this point, there's a little bit of liberties I'm taking with this because it's not like I can say for sure, right? But what I do know is that their women and men they have been taught to think of their relationship dynamic differently than we have. So yeah, those women, like Peter said, a lot of those women are going to be, they're going to cook, they're going to clean, they're going to know, though they take care of home, they kind of been taught to make that a priority, right? And yes, so those men already know what's up. They already know they got to have a certain type of job so that they can take care of that wife, so they can take care of those kids. So they know that. But see, that that's the mindset that they have, right? So they are into roles. They know there's roles. They accept those roles. But just like Vince said as well, can you take your kids from a previous relationship or this or that? Is it going to be a lot of that going on as well? I mean, because it's just a different dynamic, right?
Yeah.
You got to go, I don't know. I don't know. Because it's a different type of dynamic because we have just been taught, born and sort of raised to do something different, right? Plus, let's just be honest. Our experience in this country hasn't been like other nationalities' experience.
And that was my other kind of point too. Like, I don't think that's the teamwork of knowing what our experience is and working with that. I feel like that conversation isn't happening. Like, when are we going to have that conversation? Like, we know what our struggles are. Why are we not?
well, but the thing is it's one thing to understand your struggle and say, okay, so there's some things that could obviously be different, right? But then we don't want to get to the point, and I'm not saying you're saying this because you're not, but we don't want to get to the point where we use that as an excuse. So right. Like we don't want to do something like, okay, so yeah, we were raised differently, but that doesn't mean that now that I know better, I can't do better, right?
Exactly.
So now that I recognize, maybe this was something that I learned, but it's not the greatest lesson. Like I can put that away and I can go, okay, what's the correct way for me to really see this or view this? So like for this whole conversation, I'll actually land my plane after this and be done because I know we're going to close the show soon. But like for me, this conversation can be triggering because I just see the people that's coming after me. Like I see the generations that are coming after me and wanting relationships and wanting to date and eventually be married. And I see that unfortunately they've been so deeply affected by the current societal structure where Black women, I'm speaking just to Black men and Black women, where Black women have been elevated to a certain extent above the Black men, and that has been intentional. That's another thing that we have against our culture that other cultures don't. They don't try to sow discord between other cultures, but they always try to get in between Black men and Black women with these narratives. They don't do that to other nationalities the same way. And the problem with us is we are too heavily influenced by what people say. We always have been. So when they start giving us these narratives, we start to believe it. When women start to believe, I don't need a man, I'm overeducated, I'm this, I'm that, and I'm not taking your education from you, I'm not taking your brilliance from you, I'm not taking any of that from you. But what I'm saying is, it's almost like when you start believing your own hype. Sometimes when you start doing that too much, right, it creates this air of arrogance. And then what are you supposed to do with that then? How are you supposed to take all of that into a relationship and be somebody's helpmate? Because see, it's going to be hard for you now to be a helpmate. It's going to be hard for you now to be a compliment because you've built into yourself based off of a narrative that's been pushed that you're here and basically you know, everybody else they need to catch up. There's levels, okay, and they need to catch up. And the thing is when we start believing our hype too much, you know, then it's not, we're not able to have a mindset of team, because then that's when the selfish come in. Well, what am I gonna get out of it? Well, what about what I just serve me and my situation? Well, I gotta at least have, and what I'm gonna at least need, and all of this kind of stuff. When it's supposed to be us coming together, how we gonna build this brand, which is our last name now. How we gonna you know, build and nurture our legacy. It's supposed to be team. It was never meant to be a one player game. And I think that unfortunately that's where we've come. And this conversation tends to trigger me. I'm sure y'all could tell by some of my responses, because I'm like, where's our mindset right now? Like our mindset is so crazy how we're discrediting the very thing that was ordained for us, because God knew we needed to be partners. He knew we needed that. He knew we needed the balance. He knew we needed the protection. He knew we needed the provision. Like he knew what we needed because he created us to be partners. He literally created us to be together.
I still deserve?
And it's kind of disappointing when I see all of the separation, and then I see people making justifications and excuses for it. And then also when I see people, you know, having a problem with other people who have the best intentions, and really all they want to do is help, because they're sitting outside of a situation that they've already seen and experienced and been through, and they're like, hey, you know, I see it. And like, let me, can I help? You know what I mean? Like, I just think that it's sad for me. It's unfortunate. But I'll land my plane, and you know, I appreciate y'all entertaining my conversation.
Let me let C Prince get it off, then I'm gonna go to Vince. I want to hear what Vince got to say. Go ahead, C Prince, and we'll go to Vince.
Oh yeah, you know I'm about to get this off. This Brad cop. Oh, this Brad cop got me right now. Oh yeah, listen to this. Disclosure. You can love who you love. That's what I'm gonna say like this. But now I'm about to give it. You know, I always look at it like this when I hear sisters say that it's easier to go outside their race because they be treated better by somebody else than their own.
Bruh.
That right there is so disrespectful to a black man, period. Because guess what? We are the monsters you created. Hands down. Hold on. Y'all made these men the way they are. And then y'all are dissatisfied how you treat it, because guess what? You allow them to treat you in such a fashion that guess what? When they called you out your name, you answered. When they told you was something, you acted upon it. And guess what? Now you sick and tired of doing the thing to yourself and getting treated the way you wanted to be treated. Now you can say, well, I need to go somewhere else, because guess what? the monsters you created by the way you present yourself. Hold on, I'm saying like this. The way you present yourself, and you're going to fault the black man? Guess what? I ain't tell you to twerk that ass. I ain't tell you that. You know, you start twerking. I said, I liked it. Understand that. When I told you, so guess what? When you present yourself in a hoish fashion, guess what? Brothers like hoes. Put it down. Don't get it down. This is easy pickings. I don't care. Look, everybody will be like, wow. I'm telling you like this. If you treat yourself better, you might get treated better. Understand that. If you treat yourself the way how you present yourself, how you're gonna be treated. Hands down. Guess what? So so guess what? I say like this. If you go chase your brand, good riddance, because you wasn't meant for a black man anyway. That's what I'm gonna say.
I guess you mad.
That's what I'm gonna say.
He mad.
I'm not.
He big mad. He big mad.
Because you know what, y'all might want to hit the mute button on because I'm gonna give it to you.
I think Steve was coming out to hate it.
Give it to you.
Let me go to Vince.
I'm
We're gonna pray for you.
Go ahead, Vince.
We're gonna pray for you when you're healing.
How's
ahead,
my
man.
sound now? We're gonna try this one
I'm
more
sorry.
time.
I'm sorry, Prince.
That better?
No,
I'm sorry.
You sound good, Vince. Go ahead, man.
See? Hey, see, Prince.
yeah.
I had to get my wife's phone. It was better than mine.
Oh, help.
But anyway,
Legally signed.
They got me heated.
And that help was for free.
get the raggedy iPhone.
That help was for free.
How that go?
I see this
No,
thing.
it's all good. As long as it works, man. Go ahead, Vince.
But to answer the question, do we want to be married? You know, as I said again, I've been only married for 3 years. I've dated for 20 years, and when I've asked these questions to women who were in their mid-30s, it was more of I'm just tired of being single. It wasn't really in my experience. People do marry, especially at an older age, for selfish reasons, and marriage is selfless.
Right.
You have to go into it with what you want to give to someone. And I knew that I always wanted to be married, because I had a great example in my grandparents. And I see how my grandfather lived a good life until he was 84. My grandmother lived a good life until she was 87. They both, were financially stable. My grandmother, when my grandfather passed, she had a paid off house, she had life insurance, and she had the options to do whatever she wanted. She didn't have to depend on none of her kids. So see, Prince, it is a financial situation. And I would never want to leave my wife here without the benefit of something that, of a piece of paper to tell where my assets went, so she can be provided for, and my children. So, and I think a lot of times we do things that were designed to be done in marriage out of marriage. Mm-hmm. First of all, have kids, and we do. We got a bunch of babies before we get married, and then we want to bring our kids with their kids, with our bills and our baggage and our bad relationships, and we bring in all that, because we say, oh, well, we shouldn't be married in our 20s because we gotta have our girls trips and guys gotta do their thing, and then by the time you think you're ready to get married, you have so much baggage that you almost set yourself up for failure.
Right.
So, and then also, I really believe nowadays too. I think the reason why my marriage worked, I'll just say myself, is because me and my wife had great examples of marriage. So we went into it thinking that this is not a short-term thing. We're not gonna always be happy. We're not gonna always agree. Sometimes I'm gonna go sleep in the basement and she's gonna sleep upstairs, but we ain't going nowhere.
Right.
And that's just point blank, period. And I never understood when in my first marriage, I got married really young, and my grandmother would always tell me, well, why don't you just stay together for the kids? And I never understood that because I was like, well, I'm not happy. But see, they had a different level of commitment. They left for real reasons. We leaving now because, oh, well, he ain't ambitious, or she done gained a little weight, or we outgrew each other. We'll grow back together again. But most of the time, I see this too, is that we're not intentional when we're dating. I hear more women. I said, well, did you want him to be your child's father? Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that.
Right.
But now you've been sleeping around, or a guy. Did you want her to be, you know, the the mother to your children? Oh, I really wasn't thinking about that. I was just having sex. And so we come together, and I think that it has to do with we need some serious therapy in our community. We need some real, and it ain't just the church. We need some serious therapy because most of us have not had healthy examples of husbands or wives because most of us grew up with just our mama. And if you don't have that, it's impossible for you to say you done grew up your whole life without a man who truly loved you and didn't want anything from you, that wanted to provide it for you. And the first time you love a man is your first little boyfriend who wants something from you. Or these men growing up not understanding the responsibility of manhood. And understanding, yeah, there is a responsibility of signing that marriage license because you want to provide and protect your family. And that's what it takes. And we in America, we ain't in some other world. We ain't in Texas. We in Detroit, Michigan, where a signed document means something. And if you don't want that signed document, then don't get married and don't have no kids. But we want all the benefits without the responsibilities. We want to be with a woman and just drag her along for 15 and 20 years, and then we die because people say, well, but most people, if they're that responsible to have a life insurance policy or have a will, they're going to be responsible enough to get married because it go hand in hand. It really do. We acting like, oh, well, we ain't gonna get married, but I'm gonna leave you a $500,000 life insurance policy, or I'm gonna leave you my house, even though I got some other kids that might not like you and all this, and then I'm gonna leave you with all that baggage to sort out. So either we gonna be responsible or we ain't gonna be responsible. So I understand sometimes what women are saying because our men have not been taught to be men and be responsible and take care of everything. And that's just what it is. I tell my boys, be prepared to take care of everything. Then you'll get a better result. I'm about results. Then you'll get a better result. Don't go into it thinking, oh, well, she gonna pay 50-50 and I no. And then you have to understand what does marriage mean to you? Yes, everybody's the definition of marriage is not the same thing. But in your first couple of dates, you need to ask, well, what does marriage mean to you? Now, I have a very traditional marriage. My marriage is very traditional. I do man things, she does woman things. And that works for us. But then there's some people that can understand it and get that out on the table. Because most of the time, the thing that happens is that you don't discuss it. You don't have the conversation. And then you're a year down the line and you're thinking one thing, but it's something different. And then you start having kids and responsibilities, and a woman like, man, he don't do nothing around the house. He won't help me do this. We never discussed that. So a lot of times, see, Prince, it is about having a conversation and getting on the right page. But then it's also, yes, there's legal, and it's crazy because so many things I didn't know. Like when I had my first child, I wasn't married, and I didn't go to the hospital. So I never signed the birth certificate. So I really had no parental rights. But then when I was married and I had my daughter, I'm thinking I had to sign the birth certificate. And the doctor was like, no, you don't have to sign the birth certificate. You're married. So that's automatically your baby. So that's automatically because that's your wife. So even if it is not, it's yours. And I didn't even understand that. So and then I think a lot of times we just have to understand that, especially when we get older, we so set in our ways, and especially for women, it's a trust thing a lot of times, because they really can't trust the man. Men have disappointed them so much, and I hate to say it, that a lot of times it's because those are the men that you choose, because those are the men you attract. If you're a masculine woman, you're going to attract a softer man. That's just how that works.
But see,
So
Vince,
if you want a harder man, you need to be a softer woman.
I think that's a part of the issue that we're seeing, man. So, and like I said, I gotta ask the question. Like I said, we gotta have these conversations. How many of those women that you just mentioned even feel like what they're doing is masculine? Like, real talk. How many ladies do you actually think feel like some of those things? Because I know where you're going with your statement. How many ladies do you feel like actually know or feel that some of those things that they're doing is masculine? It's not actually feminine things.
I don't even think they know, because that's what they've seen. They've seen
Exactly.
their mother be aggressive, and they have to, they say they have to be aggressive at the job because it's a man's world, and I have to compete with men, so I have to be aggressive and strong and this and that and other, and they don't even see it. They just feel like, oh, well, I'm being direct, or things of that nature. But yeah, I don't think they see it.
So let me ask this, then I'm gonna go to Mickey. Just because I said we got it's a lot of people watching us right now. For the ladies in the audience outside of the panel, do you realize that maybe some of the things that you are doing that possibly these men are seeing from you may be masculine in nature and not per se feminine types of things? I'm just curious. So anybody in the audience, drop a comment and let me know, you know, if you see that or even recognize that. Let me go to Mickey. I don't want to leave her hanging. Go ahead, Mickey.
I have a question. How do you not do masculine things when there's nobody else to do them for you? I don't understand.
I was gonna say
Go ahead.
that, but then that's the part too of not knowing, I guess.
Like, I'm about to be 40, and I've been a single majority of my life. I don't think any other way. It is my survival method.
But
Okay.
It's not intentional. It's just I'm surviving. That's all I know how
Right,
to
you
do.
still have to get it done regardless. Like,
okay, Mickey,
I get what she's saying.
Okay, Mickey, let me ask you a question. Do you know men that you would say that's feminine, and they might not be gay, but you would just say that he's feminine,
He's soft,
and it has nothing to do
I don't
with,
like that term.
well, not
I think
feminine.
I personally think it's an old school term, and I think it's to say that somebody is gay. I mean, I
didn't say gay. I didn't
No,
say gay.
I know, but I'm saying I don't understand that term, and I think being around like this is a different cultures. I see that there's different type of tones in men, so I wouldn't think any guys.
No, because to be totally transparent, I was raised by predominantly all women except for my grandfather, and sometimes the way I communicate, some women have said that I can tell that you've been raised around a lot of women. Has nothing to do with gay, but I can just tell that you've been raised around a bunch of women.
Right. I would say what you just said, but I'm saying traditionally I've heard the soft term being that.
Truth. And it doesn't offend me because it's the truth. My grandmother was very strong-willed. My aunts were professional. My mother was single and worked all her life. My aunts. So yes, I grew up with very opinionated, sometimes argumentative. So I probably picked up on a lot of that because that's what I was around. It doesn't, and that's just the truth.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm talking. And for Mickey's comment is that because you haven't been around it, you don't even know what it is. And I've worked on myself to try not to be so quote unquote combative or argumentative, and just to be a little bit more quiet sometimes, a little bit more, you know, say less and do more, I guess you can say. So it's not necessarily about having to do, because you can still be feminine and do all those things. And what we mean is men want women who are girly. Just like women want men who are, how can I say?
Masculine.
Okay.
Man,
Yes.
Masculine.
You don't want, you just do it. Come on now, let's just be honest. You don't want to walk around with, and some do. I'm just saying, but in general, we know what we're talking about. So let's just be honest. Let's kill the cap and try not to offend nobody. Let's just be real. Since most of us have been raised, and most of our, especially our black, have been raised with domineering, aggressive women that hasn't had the opportunity to be girly because they had to raise their kids by themselves. They had to go out here and work and didn't have the benefit of a husband that they can feel safe with and feel girly with. So you probably never even seen that in your own, where your mom and dad played and your mom was girly and your dad tickled her, and just the things that lovers do. You know what I'm saying? If you always seen your mom in an aggressive, gotta do this, gotta do that, then I can understand, where Mickey is coming from.
I think that's also contributing to mental exhaustion. So that exhaustion might contribute to the masculinity as well.
Can I jump in this?
The exhaustion of doing everything.
Well, but also sometimes that's what we've chosen to do. We've chosen to do that. Everything is about a choice in life.
So let me do this.
So if you decided, to go out there and maybe have some kids that you couldn't afford, then that's your choice.
True. I think it depends on the situation, because to Mickey's point, I think she's coming from a place of, well, regardless, it's going to get done. I know this thing needs to get done, so I'm still going to get it done.
But that's not massive. We're talking about in the relationship with a man. We're not talking about in the workplace. We're talking about in the relationship with the man. A man wants a feminine woman. He doesn't want a masculine woman.
That's what I'm referring to.
So I want to touch that.
Okay, well, you should pick better men. That's the problem. You pick you.
I don't think it's that simple.
Yes, it is.
We're gonna get into that. So let me let C Prince, because C Prince been sitting for a minute. Let me let C Prince go. Then we're gonna hit Chloe. I'm gonna circle back over here to Mickey. Let's say we need to touch that. Let's say we're gonna go. Let's say we about 10-20. We don't ran over, but I think we need to get this. I think we need to get this last part out. So let me let C Prince go. Chloe go. We're gonna slide over to Mickey. So go ahead, C Prince.
Let's talk about this girly aspect. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Girly things, when I think of girly, I think about teenage women and stuff. That's that girly state that they're going to dress up and stuff like that. I don't want no girly ass. I don't want a girly woman. I want a grown woman. Hands down, she know how to carry herself, present herself. Listen to this. Understand this. Hold on, it's a difference.
I said feminine.
He said girly. And then he said
girly.
Feminine. Yeah, feminine.
Hold on.
Feminine.
Okay, I'm make it clear, because guess what? I'm telling you like this. You know what?
Child.
You have to protect. Y'all have to protect.
Chloe said she tired.
You have to protect the single mothers out there. They doing their best, because guess what? They have raised some great men. People might not agree with it, but there's a lot of men they raised made great men. You know what I'm saying? Understand this. We ain't gonna do that. Hands
Do
down, we
what?
ain't gonna do that.
Do what, see, Prince? We ain't gonna do what?
About single women.
What about
Like
it?
raising children. We ain't gonna do that because
Do
guess
what? Do what? What are you doing?
Talking about they going to work and they ain't looking like feminine and stuff like that. Listen, they handle their responsibility without a man. Hands down. We're gonna give them credit when credit's due.
Well, don't
hold on.
In there.
Hold on.
That's all I'm saying.
Huh?
That's like me sitting up here complaining.
Okay, hold on.
See, Prince, let me explain something to you. See, Prince.
Oh, Lord.
That's like me sitting up here complaining about I had to pay my child support. I had to work 3 jobs. But that's what I had to do because that's what I chose to do. I chose to go out there and have them kids without the benefit of marriage.
No, but
before I could take care of them. So I don't need no reward for that. No, that's what I had to do.
No, we ain't talking about that.
So what I'm saying is that, my mother was a single mother. All my whole life. That's why I'm so passionate about it. Because my mother, God bless her soul, died 2 years ago of a broken heart. She got to the point she had lived all her life single. And she thought her life was over at 65 years old. Because she never had that real love. And I feel passionate for my sisters to have that real love, to have that person that they can partner with to build with. And I can honestly say, now that my mother's gone, she don't know what I'm saying. My mother was a good mother, but I don't know if she would have been a good wife.
That's real.
Because we had some really intense conversations later on in her life, especially when I got married, because she would say certain things and do certain things because my wife is a traditional wife. And why you doing that? Why you making this plate? Because that's my wife and that's what she want to do. And she, I hope you don't raise your daughter to be making no man's plate. My mother. I say, no, I'm going to teach her to make a plate for the right man. That's what I'm going to teach her.
Right.
So this is very personal for me. It's not just me talking. You know what I'm saying? And it was, and I didn't have enough money to give my mother a reason to live. I was like, Ma, you don't even have to work anymore. Just come, travel with me and the baby. She was done. She was just waiting to die at 65. I had a mother and an aunt like that.
Yeah. Let me slide it to Chloe. Go ahead, Chloe.
I was just gonna say that to our original point where we were talking about the woman who does have to take care, she's a single mom, or like Mickey was saying, I'm it's just me. So I'm taking care of me, I'm taking care of the house, I'm taking care of all of the responsibilities, just me, right? So I do understand that. And as women, we are putting that in that situation, right? Like that's going back to me talking about the society that we live in. This is just what it is, right? But I guess my point is, sis, I see you having to make it work. But when a man comes around, you're talking about someone who potentially you're interested in, who potentially you might want to be with, have a relationship with, someone who you might want to date, right? You just have to know how. First of all, you have to recognize that you have that. You have to recognize that you have the potential to maybe lead a bit aggressively because you have to everywhere else, right? So you have to recognize that that's something that you have a habit of doing. And when you recognize, okay, I can sometimes get like this, then you have to be able to say, okay, when it comes to me wanting to date this man or wanting to be with this guy, I'm going to have to check that. Doesn't mean that you still can't be smart. You can't show how intelligent you are. You can't be none of all of that. But if you know you tend to step out in front because it's just you. Okay, well now you're inviting somebody else into your situation potentially. So now it's you trying to become a we and not just a me. So you have to know when you're trying to be a we and not just a me, that sometimes I gotta turn down the aggression just a little bit because I'm trying to be a we now, not just a me. Like I'm trying to invite somebody into my situation so it doesn't just have to be me all the time by myself. You don't have to always be so aggressive because now you have that masculine energy from a man where it's really supposed to be coming from. And you don't have to, you know what I'm saying? You can turn that down. And now if that man is the right kind of man, I'm not asking y'all to run out here and do this stuff for a dude that ain't the right kind of guy. He ain't worth it. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm only speaking when you meet a man who you really feel like, oh, I kind of like this guy. Like I really like him. I see some potential here. Then that's when I'm saying you really have to be able to, say, I know this about myself, right? I've come to understand this about myself. And I understand that when I want to be in a relationship, I can't always do that because then we're going to be doing this all the time. You don't want that because there's always going to be some conflict just because it's two different people from two different backgrounds trying to come together. So there's always going to be something. But if you already know that this is something about yourself, then that's when you have to say, okay, this is an area opportunity for me. So when that man, that potential guy, that's potential someone who really is about something comes around, then you have to understand, okay, this is when I have to kind of pay attention to that and be aware of that and make adjustments where adjustments are needed. And I feel like not enough of us in general are willing to do that because we feel like, well, I shouldn't have to do this. And once again, we back to I. And we have to be self-aware enough to say, oops, I'm doing that. I'm making it all about me and I'm trying to become a we. So then if he's trying to be all about me, all about him, and you trying to be all about you, then it's not going to work. Like that doesn't work. So there has to be, obviously, how you feel, how you think matters. I'm not saying that how he feels, how he thinks matters. No one's saying that. What I'm simply saying is y'all have to be able to meet in the middle. Like there has to be a meeting of the minds where you balance each other out. And I think that sometimes, we don't, let's just be honest. A lot of us have gotten set in our ways. If we've been doing this for a long time, we've been taking care of ourselves for a long time, we've been relying on ourselves for a long time, we don't always want to give up that level of control that we've had. Because when it's only us, then and we don't have to rely on nobody else. Like Nicole said, I know it's gonna get done. Right? There's no question there. Oh, I know it's gonna get done. And it's like I do understand that. But if you're trying to really be a we, then you got to work on that trust. Because not every man is out to break your heart. Not every man is out to do you dirty. Not every man. And if you go into every situation with that potential thought, then that's what's going to happen. You're going to miss the good opportunity because the whole time you with the negative mindset. And I see that all over, my husband, if y'all follow him on social media, he always like to stir the pot. He a poop starter. He like to start poop
every day of the week.
all the time. And I read the comments and I'm like, wow, like as women, and this is just in general, as women, we have become real super negative. Like we tip the lead with the negative first. Like, we'll read that post, boy, boom, we off to the races. And I'm like, well, I don't even think that's what that post meant.
Yeah.
Like, so I just think that we have to really be, as women, we have to really be conscious of that.
Let me read this comment real quick. Then I'm gonna slide over to Mickey. So Tiffany Rowe, and shout out to Tiffany Rowe. She said, yes, Chloe, you got to change that me mentality to a we mentality and allow the man to step up while I learn to step back. I finally got it. And she got that little engagement ring over there in corner. There it is. That's what it looked like.
Congratulations.
Right, shout out to Tiffany Rowe. All right, let me go over to Mickey. I don't want to leave Mickey hanging. You still want to say something, Mickey?
Oh, I had something.
I got something to say.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Y'all all forgot about me. Y'all jumped on me.
Oh no, sir, you're done. Sir, you're done.
I'm about to give it to y'all.
Go ahead,
no,
Nicole.
no,
Go
sir.
ahead, Nicole.
No,
Go ahead.
sir.
Go ahead.
I would just say for me, kind of dealing with my journey and what I've recognized to be a little bit more masculine, a tip that's worked for me is, I guess I think of it as like an exhaustion check. So if it's something where it's too mentally taxing or physically taxing, I'll kind of give myself like just a little timer. It could be, depending on what it is. And if that time is up, it's like, okay, well, you need to ask for help. I will at least say I put it out there, or I need to have an approach where it's, I am some way asking for that assistance. Now, if I don't get the response that I need, then I will kind of go ahead and proceed to get it done how I need to get it done. But I would say throughout this journey, that's kind of something that I've kind of adapted that works for me.
Okay. It's a good tip. Good tip. Good tip. Go ahead, Vince.
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm growing.
I see it. I'm not mad. I see it. Go ahead, Vince.
Then also, I know it's hard to believe that some men will allow you to live in your femininity in the relationship, and I know that's very hard to believe because so many women have been in control and single for so long, they don't know how to really just sit and live in their femininity. And I think a real man not gonna tolerate that. He's not gonna tolerate that aggression. And I know me and Mick had a little issue, and it was because it was a little aggressive for me. And so the way it was presented, I just fell back because I didn't want you to feel no kind of way. And so once I get that energy, I'm, and I think a lot of times that your natural emotion is to fight instead of just sit back and kind of listen and really kind of see what somebody said. Your natural emotion is to run. And a real man ain't gonna tolerate that because he got options. The man that you want is not gonna fight with you for you to be what he wants you to be. He's not gonna fight with you to be feminine. He's not gonna fight with you to let him be a man. I don't even know where that came from. Ain't no woman gonna let me be a man. I'm gonna be the man. Well, you need to let a man be a man. You ain't gotta let me do nothing. And the man, and I get this so much because I deal with a lot of professional women who have found themselves in a leadership role, and they get so tired of meeting these men that they have to push. But then I even had somebody say, well, Vince, why we didn't ever, because you too bossy for me. And they was like, yeah, that's probably true. Because I need someone to live in their femininity. I don't need for you to put me together. I got a checking account.
There it is.
So I think you put out what you attract. So so many of my very professional, my realtor friends, my provider friends, why am I keep attracting these guys that don't have, their thing is they don't have no ambition. That's a big thing. They don't have no ambition. But the man that has ambition is going to require you to live in your femininity. They're going to require you, especially at our age. I'm 50 years old. So if I don't have it together, now I'm not going to get it together. So he's going to require you to have some time. If you at work all the time, that's not going to work. And I understand you got to pay your bills, you got to do this, but
age.
you're kind of in a quadrant because you've built so much alone. You know that you want to stay in the $400,000 house. You want to drive a Mercedes. You got 3 kids. So yeah, you got to work. But a man, it's going to require you to have some time for him too. So I kind of feel sorry for a lot of the ladies because you kind of put yourself in a trick bag for the type of man that you really want, that you really respect, that you can really be feminine for. You don't really have the requirements to give him what he needs.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point. Go ahead, see Prince. I see you use that finger, man. Go ahead, man.
Oh
The
yeah,
real-
because it's got to go down. Because listen here, I sat back, I'm listening. Y'all are describing these fraud men. Y'all even got the audacity to call these men that y'all are describing men, talking about they feminine and this, that. Listen here, check this out. I'm gonna keep it real. Hey, listen to this. To all you women out there, you got your little mouthpiece on and stuff, you running, you tough. Guess what? Don't let your guard down. Because guess what? You better not ever run into somebody like me. Honestly. Because guess what?
What does that mean?
Listen to this.
Oh my God!
Listen to this. Because I like that. Especially when you think you tough and all that. Because guess what? My word game is good. I'm going to tell you that right now. It ain't nothing like breaking down. Listen to this. It ain't nothing like breaking down a woman.
Bruh.
I'm too old.
That's
I'm
not.
too old to be
That's
doing
not
all that.
okay.
Like
That's not accepting.
I was too old to be
Check
doing all that.
Check this out. Because guess what? I don't want you to give me nothing for free. I want you to get comfortable and understand when you lower your guards about your choice. Because I made you become the woman you are to me.
What just happened to this?
I don't know, but it is not an accepting attitude.
Listen,
It's not at all accepting.
Hold on, because I'm telling y'all, because I'm listening to this stuff that the women need to crap. I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say it like this because guess what? The thing about it is, y'all forgot we got the court, and I don't want no weak, soft, sensitive woman that don't know herself. Hands down, I don't want that. I want a woman confident, and when she talks to me, she don't standoffish. And guess what? She should be. She should be leery because guess what? You don't know what you're getting yourself into. And then when you get yourself into something, you don't understand what's going on. Understand this. Y'all think I'm playing. Listen to this. I listen, but I'm telling you, most of these men you talk about, when I'm hearing described, these ain't men, these cowards, chumps, whatever you want to call them. And then half these women that we talking about ain't nothing but fun bags. And this is just ridiculous to me sometimes. I'm like, what is going on? Let's talk about the women, the true women at 9 to 5. You know what I'm saying?
I'm pretty sure we are. This is a true woman topic. It's a true woman concern. I don't know what other.
Check this out.
Topic we're talking
Most
about.
women nowadays, I'm gonna tell you like this: they pass their youth or their young adults. They party through that stuff. Hands down, they party. You chase the good-looking guy and the good times. Guess
Did
what?
you say they passed their due date?
Yeah, no, I said they passed.
You said you.
Call it what you wanted, but I'm gonna tell you the truth.
Oh, you.
I know what he's saying. I know what he's saying. Go ahead,
They passed their prime.
Listen, I ain't saying they passed their prime because listen, they get better when they get older. I'm gonna tell you the truth. But I'm gonna tell you like this. This is what I'm saying.
He is, Peter.
Can we explain how this is relevant?
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna tell you like this. Women nowadays do not want to be married because guess what? They don't have confidence in themselves, and they really only have anything. The only thing they got to bring is their finances and their wet ass. That's it. Everything else is great. Hands down. They ain't got. Yeah, I'm gonna say
That's
it
very
like
confusing, but okay.
I mean, I don't want to offend no women like that.
But you are offending women.
Hey, listen to this.
Especially when ones where I don't think that's the issue.
Let me tell you like this: the shoe fit, wear it. I ain't describing you; it ain't for you. That's how it is.
Okay.
But see, Prince, that's why you gotta find a good woman. See, you gotta understand.
Exactly. I think you're just talking about trash women, and you need to quit it.
Sound like a lot of
out here. Hold on. Let's get this right.
That's a good woman. Not talking about that.
Hold on, check it out. The biggest influence in my life was my mother. So I don't trust no woman. So you can retract that statement. Because guess what?
What did you just
I'm
say?
a very advocate for women. Understand that. I do women's shelters and all that. Understand that. There's a lot of things you don't know about me. I don't trash women. Because guess what? Women, I can't trash women. But guess what? When you present hoes and tricks and all that stuff like that ain't women, I'm not trashing them. They trashing themselves, for one. I don't
Right,
trash
but you're
nobody.
bringing that behavior to this conversation, and that's
No,
two
I ain't bringing.
totally different types of women. I don't
No,
think
I
that
ain't
type of
bringing
woman
that.
is looking for the things that we're discussing. So that type of women can
Okay.
be exited from this
So
conversation because
let
there's
me
no
let
reason
me
why we
ask,
would even converse.
let me ask this. Let me ask this because you made a point in there, C Prince, that I actually do want to touch when we get ready to get out of here. I said it's almost 11, going on 11 o'clock. We gotta get ready to wrap. But I do want to ask
It's
this
late.
question. So we got Mickey on the panel, we got Nicole on the panel. So let me ask y'all this question based on what C Prince just said. Are you ladies confident when you interacting with these men out here today?
In what way? I guess. In what way?
That's what I was gonna say. In what way?
Take it how you want it. Are you confident when you interacting with these dudes today?
I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to answer. You got to give me some specifics. Like,
confident in yourself. Like, do you have confidence when do you bring your confidence to the conversation, to the situation?
is that what you're saying? I mean,
That work.
am I confident in myself? Yes.
Like the way you take your confidence to your job because you know what you're doing and you know what I'm saying? You confident. So do you bring that same confidence to approach a potential relationship or somebody that you're interested in? Or
I'm gonna let Nicole answer that.
Good answer. Good
In
answer.
the hot seat
I
I go.
Yeah, good answer.
What you say, Nicole? I want to hear this.
I would say in a context, I think you are talking about like if I'm my non-work related interactions with a male, like flirting and things like that. I mean, honestly, it's been a process. It's definitely been work. But I would say now I'm definitely more confident than what I was. And in separating the types of conversations that I'm having, like I do understand like a male does not necessarily want to talk about work. Like you want to talk about me, a person.
That's masculine. That's masculine. Exactly. See, that's masculine.
What?
Men talk about work. That's masculine.
I said that they don't want to talk about work.
Right. But I'm saying that a woman that does that, that's an example of masculine energy.
Yeah, he agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I had a lady,
what?
like I had a lady, I was out at the club and I shook her hand. And she shook my hand like
Did
we're
she give
at
you a business handshake?
Yes, and I'm like, we're at Floods. Why are you giving me a business handshake? Well, I'm always
because
business minded.
Has this,
she
hasn't separated the two.
And I kept on walking. She always business minded. I wanted a soft touch. I didn't want no business handshake. I want you to live in your femininity.
I was gonna say though, in context though, business do get handled in strip clubs, believe it or not. So
well,
don't blame her completely.
There we go.
Just
let me let Mickey respond. Go ahead, Mickey.
I get what you mean.
I'm not necessarily answering the question, I guess, but to Nicole's point, talking about work as opposed to being feminine, and maybe that's where my disconnect is, because this is something I was going to say earlier. When I approach a man, I'm actually looking to see his actual potential. Like, are you a provider? Can you, and it was to Vince's point, do you have a 401k? Do you own a home? Are you, active in your stocks and needs? Like, I can't even get to the love part. I'm just making sure you got stability.
I will say I'm able to have those conversations with non-black men.
Hold on a second. But you know what I'm gonna say?
Hold
If you're
on.
looking for that, the
Vince,
type of man
Vince,
wait a minute, let me say something right quick. If you're looking for that, then you have to be extra feminine. You gotta come with the softness. You gotta come with the catering, because that's what that type of man wants. And I'm speaking for, I'm that type of man, and I know these type of men. If you want to put together man who got it all together, who can take care of you and take care of him, he wants femininity. He don't want no part, quote unquote. He got it already, especially at our age. He ain't trying to be, he should already have an empire. He wants you to come in and complements that. So you have
Go ahead,
to,
Mickey.
that's the type of man that you want. You have to live in the femininity. You have to be very feminine. Because that's what those type of men want. That's why you can see some of these women who have 6 or 7 kids can get a man because they live in their feminine.
Go
And
ahead,
that
Mickey.
ain't completely true. I mean, she could just be easy too.
Let me let Mickey get this out. Go ahead, Mickey.
Okay.
Work significantly less harder.
But see, there we go again, Nick. That was masculine.
Hold on,
I
Vince. Let me
said
let
something
Mickey.
and you went to, oh, that ain't true.
I didn't say
Men do that.
it wasn't true. I just said
Men do that.
partly.
Men do that. That's what I'm saying.
What? Debate?
Okay. I'm
Okay,
trying to teach you.
Mickey,
I'm
what
trying
was
to
you
teach you
saying?
something. I'm trying for the man that you these men who have the ability to take care of you, and if you got kids, your kids, and ain't got to worry about no child. Those men want femininity. They don't want you going back and forth with them because they got be a compliment. And that doesn't, and see, you gotta, and people would think I'm just a dictator. Most people who really know me know how I am. So they understand that what I'm saying it comes from a position of love. It's not a
True,
position
and I think a
of
certain
being a
type of woman
dictator or
would
telling
appreciate that.
somebody what to do. It's a position of love and protection. And I see so they want that type of man, but they don't want to listen to what those men are saying that they want. They want to give them what they want to give them.
Let me
I
let
get
me
that,
let
but
Mickey.
I wouldn't say that's my opinion. I'm saying I'm the type of person who asks questions, and I'm not asking it in a forceful, rude way. It's more so a place of understanding. So tone-wise, I've understood how to kind of frame my questions, but I'm not asking a question or debating from a disrespectful place.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me go to
I
Mickey. I
think
gotta let
that's
Mickey get this
different.
out. Go ahead, Mickey. I want you to say what you want to say.
No, I was just gonna say to Nicole's point, when we're talking about work, it was 2 points. One, talking about work, it's just I thought, in my opinion, I'm being feminine because I'm looking for someone to understand my position in work. Like I'm actually looking for energy to comfort me. Like, man, I went through this today, you won't believe. So a man that can actually offer advice, I'm not competing with him. I'm actually asking him for help. Like, what would you do in this situation? And his response to that gauges how I let my guard down. Like, wow, he really helped me. That actually happened to me. And to God's honest, that made me like him more, that he came to me with solid advice that helped me in my job. And to Vince's point, when I'm seeking a man and I'm looking for financial, can he take care of himself? I'm not necessarily looking at it for me because according to statistics, my average man is not going to be able to support me. I'm going to have to work. I don't see it otherwise. If I got kids out here, it's just going to have to be a two income house. So I'm just really just looking to make sure you can take care of yourself, not necessarily me, because we can come together and make 2 incomes work. So when you're asking me to turn off my feminine energy for the sake of a man to take care of me,
No, I said turn off your masculine energy.
or turn off my masculine energy to in return receive the benefits of a man taking care of me, I can't even see that far.
No, you're
That's
going
not
to
what we
receive the
said.
benefit of the man that you want. Not a man
You were
taking care
saying
of
the
you.
man that I want is going to
But the man that you described,
financially and all these things.
Mickey,
I
the
didn't.
man that you described with 401ks and stocks and all that,
You have that
probably
because you're
take
an
care of
adult,
him and
not
you.
because I need you to take care of me. It's because you're an adult, and that's what you
But
should.
that's
But
why I
those,
said I feel like
but
certain
you describe,
conversations, unfortunately, I have with non-black men, and it's comfortable. But that's
hold on a
my
second, but Mick,
experience.
Like a
but
401k is not the equivalent of me being a stay-at-home mom. I'm sorry.
no. What I'm saying is,
That's not what he
Mick,
said.
you didn't describe a Ford worker at the plant. You described a man, 401k, stocks, bonds. Those type of men have probably 6-figure income, I would say, or more than that.
Plus,
So
It's
you
still not
described
enough.
a high earning man. You didn't describe the average guy. The average guy don't have stocks.
What?
The average person don't have stocks.
No, that's accurate.
That's valid. That's valid, y'all.
The average
Everybody ain't in the
person does
stocks
not
out
have
here.
stocks.
Okay, we
Nah.
take out the stocks. Maybe we're being too literal, but I'm saying the basics of a
The average
relationship.
person doesn't have. The average guy don't even really have a 401k that's worth
No.
it.
Okay, well then I just need not to date. I'm out. Good night.
No.
And that's that masculine energy.
Hold on.
But that's
That's
what
that
I'm saying.
masculine energy, though,
That's the
y'all.
man that she described. She described the higher. She didn't say, "Oh, a guy that work at the plant and he $15, $16 an hour. And he got a little apartment somewhere and got a car that's paid." She didn't describe that. She described a man with stocks and 401k and.
I think it's how to have those type of conversations was maybe more of the question. How could I, in a feminine way, get that information from a person that I am seeking to maybe be in a relationship with?
Mickey, come on.
Don't feel like that, Mickey. We hear what
Come
you're
on.
saying.
I know.
Come on back, Mickey. I got to
But I was
respond
gonna
to
say,
you. Come on back.
No, Mickey, don't feel like that. Don't feel like that.
She said I'm for that.
Mickey, come back. No, but I like I
I'm
said,
crying for her. I don't like that.
to
Don't take it
clarify
like that, Mickey.
Yeah,
That
to
made me
clarify
sad.
what I think she was trying to say. So I think she was saying she's looking for a specific type of guy. Now, there are guys that exist that do have stocks because essentially, okay, you can be working a 9 to 5, right? So you can have a 401k through your employer. You can have stocks on the side if somebody done schooled you in the game.
Right.
So that does exist, right? That's not every guy. Based on the percentages, that's not the majority of guys, but those guys do exist.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you take that foundational guy and then you throw in a $350,000 a year salary, so now we're talking about a different guy at that point.
Right.
But even that guy will exist as well. But to Vince's point, once you start getting in the, I'm just gonna say in the higher earning category, or higher earning category of guy that also has stocks, that guy, if he's making that type of money, he probably ain't even playing around on 401k. He's probably got property and everything else, so he gonna know some things a little differently anyway. If you're talking about that guy, then I think what Vince was communicating was, then you probably are going to have to make some changes as the woman, or you're going to have to present some different things to that guy, because his taste in women is going to be different.
Right.
He's not going to be looking for regular, if you will. He's going to be looking for a certain type of woman, and she's most likely going to be a very feminine woman. She's probably going to be a very fit type of woman. So there's going to be some requirements, because I said we mentioned this on the other show. Yep, when ladies are looking for very specific types of men, those men are going to challenge you as a woman, and he is going to have expectations for you as a woman. And I think that's part of the issue. We have a situation where a lot of ladies these days say that they want these things. They got this criteria of these men. They want a man making a certain amount of money. They want a man with this amount of assets. They want a man who dresses this way. They want a man who's this tall. So they got this specific list of things that they want of men. But then when those men say, okay, sis, I can give you that because I'm feeling you, but I want A, B, and C from you. That's where the problem comes in. Because a lot of time those ladies don't want to do that. They just want that type of man, but they don't want to do that. I'm glad you came back. So we tried to clear that up, Mick. You can't be dropping off. I'm about to run up out of here.
Don't be ghosting us.
I'm trying to run up out of here. We ain't even took closing statement. She gonna run up out of here.
I'm trying to channel my femininity and not argue, so I just exit the stage left. Okay. Work with me. God ain't through with me yet.
Hey, same, sis.
It's all good. It's all good. You were you able to say everything you wanted to say?
I just want to say to what Vincent mentioned earlier about our beef, you know, it's always all love. I appreciate my brothers. I want to. I come in peace. You know, like it's never meant to disrespect, or if it comes off disrespectful or away, it's in love, and I'm trying to get to an understanding where we can have conversations that are not necessarily we agree, but we agree to disagree in a loving and respectful way. So I love you, my brother. I always will. You ain't have to block me like that, but
No,
you
I
know,
didn't. No, I didn't block you. I just because I didn't want it to come off like I was bothering you, and that's kind of
no,
felt
no,
like
no, no.
why you always got to say something. So I just said, okay, I won't say nothing else. So if I'm not gonna say nothing else, then we don't really need to be friends on Facebook. So that's all that was. So anyway.
Well, I said I appreciate you doing that, Mickey. You know,
Yes.
you know, like I said, we always gotta mend and keep it moving, especially collectively. But at the end of the day, like I said, I wanted to do this show. I said, Mickey, I wasn't going to even put you out there, but you just came in, just put yourself on in. I wasn't going to even put your name. I wasn't going to do none of that.
You know what? I stand by everything I say all the time. It's up for criticism. I'm not tripping. So whatever I say, unless I delete it and be like, that was stupid. Listen, you can post it, you can recreate it, whatever you want to do with it. It is my truth, and it is how I feel at this present day. And it's open up for discussion. You know, like today I made a post, and I actually had my married friends text me personally and offer me some amazing advice that on the surface it appears that I wouldn't have taken, but I actually did. So I don't mean to come off offensive to married people. It's just I'm in my cocoon, my protective space, and I have to preserve because I'm dealing with this in real time, and it's very, very hard. So I hope I don't come off offensive to you guys. And when I do, it's not to attack. I really do care for you guys. It's just my protective mode is to stay in that space because I still gotta get to my end goal, which is marriage, right? I do want to be married. So whatever I do to preserve myself, I feel like that's my prerogative, and we just gonna keep it at that.
And Mick, I want to apologize too, because sometimes I can come off as very direct because I am very direct because I feel like society has lied to men and women so much that when somebody just tells the obvious truth, then it's offensive. It's you're clowning me or whatever. So my thing is, I want the best for you. I want to post.
I know you do.
I found somebody. I'm getting married. I said, are you getting married in Detroit? Because if you get married in Detroit, I want an invitation, and I'm gonna bring you a good gift.
I appreciate.
So that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. You know.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's coming from a good place. So, I mean, anywhere going forward, let's understand that it is all in love, and we can agree to disagree. Because I still want to be your friends at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it's just gonna get heated because that's what it is.
And like I said, at the end of the day, you know, once again, that's one of the main reasons we do this show. Sometimes it need to get heated. Yep. Sometimes folks need to get triggered. Sometimes folks need to get irritated. But at the end of the day, you got to get it off your chest, have the discussion, and that's how you move forward. And see, this is one of those topics that everybody don't want to talk about. Yep, they just be out here getting pissed off because they ain't getting no fish on the app. You know, they getting pissed off because ain't nobody swiping on their little profile. And it's like, we might need to hash this out. You know what I'm saying? Stuff may not be looking like you think it look. You know what I'm saying? These dudes might not be talking right. Like, we might need to just hash this out. Because I said, at the end of the day, I'm not going to let the brothers off the hook either. Brothers out here playing. Yep, the ladies tired of the playing. Yep, the brothers who serious, they tired of the brothers who playing. Because at the end of the day, it make everybody look bad. Yep, and real talk, you know what I'm saying? This whole process was designed for us to be together, to come together, to join, to procreate, and continue our generations. That's the whole point behind the process. Yeah, but if folks are not even going into the process on some serious stuff, you know, if folks is not even keeping it 100 in the conversations and so forth, You know, if we got energies all thrown off, masculine, feminine, folks, this, that, and all got all this mess wrapped up in it, then it's not going to work. Yeah, but that's what we got to get down to the bottom to, bottom of. That's why we got to have these conversations. And if it is agree to disagree, it don't matter. But we got to have the conversation and hash it out and talk about it.
Can I say one more thing?
Go
Back
ahead.
to my original point about married people chiming in on single people. I still feel very strongly about that. And I'm just asking that because Vince said something very triggering to me during the conversation. And it was just like, maybe you're picking from the wrong pool. And that was an example of people interjecting on what they think someone may be doing that is wrong or incorrect. So I'm not saying people's opinions are wrong. I'm just asking that people who are on the outside looking in think about their approach to people like us who are being affected on a daily basis. I'm not saying don't speak your opinion, but come, I don't know, a different energy, because sometimes it hurts. It really does hurt when you tell us it's you. And that's on men and women's side. Like, well, dang, I can't get nothing right according to y'all. So it does make me want to take a step back, because now I'm out here reevaluating my whole life, and maybe I feel like I don't deserve to have a spouse. Because according to Vince, I'm not a good picker.
You know what? I'm sorry. That was real. Like, I think that that was probably the realest statement ever made on this show, period. Like, that was real. I don't think that we show, and Nicole said it in the comments earlier, like, I don't think that we show each other enough grace on either side. Like, there's just simply not enough grace shown. So, I apologize in advance for any time I've been offensive, because I can have some really strong opinions. Y'all already know I can. But we don't always, I can't say that I've always thought every single thought through to what the person on the receiving end may hear or how they may feel to that, right? So while I do believe you need to speak the truth, we have to remember to speak the truth in love. And sometimes the love part is missing, right? We get the truth part, but the love part is missing. And I think you really can tell people just about anything, but it's how you deliver it. I appreciate that. Thank you for saying that. You're absolutely right.
And to Mick's point, I've only been married for 3 years, so I'm not 15, 20 years in the game and don't understand how things work out there. So I understand where you're coming from, but I was single for 20 some odd years. I've been engaged 4 times. I lived with 2 women, but I also had to understand that it was me. Those were the women that, and once you understand that the only common denominator in your situations is you. So I had to evaluate, well, if I keep getting these, I had to change. It wasn't about the women. I had to change. I had to understand, to get what I want, I have to give the type of woman that I want what she wants. Not what I want to give her, but what she wants if I want her. And that's what the mindset I think that most people don't have. You have to give a person what they want, not what you want to give them. So once I understood that and understood that it's me, I became comfortable in myself, and I made myself what I needed to be to attract what I wanted. So I know it might be direct, and I don't mean to hurt nobody's feelings, but I'm the first person to say I made some horrible decisions out here. But you will never hear me talk bad about anybody that I've been with, because at the end of the day, I chose them for whatever reason. So I think once we get to that point, especially at the age that we're at, You know, it's time out for the games. It's time out for my feelings is up on the shelf. We old. We got to get this thing. We don't have a lot of time to be pissy footing around. We got to get it together. Like I had to get it together. I was getting old, and I had to get it together. I was tired of this relationship a couple years, me dating somebody, and I know she's selfish, but she ain't gonna be selfish with me because I'm special. And then what happens? She's selfish with me too. Or she wasn't the right, but I had to say, what am I giving off to attract those type of people? So I don't mean to be offensive, but I'm very direct. But it's coming from a place, and I'm not speaking from, just like I told you, I've only been married for 3 years, so I ain't been married that long. So I know how it is out here. And be totally transparent, I met my wife on Plenty of Fish. Totally transparent. I'm telling you, I put it all out there. And she was on there because her sister had met a nice guy. And she was like, girl, you keep meeting these, why don't you go? And the crazy thing about it is that she tells her girlfriends these things. And she's like, well, what Plenty of Fish was you on? So just to be funny. But so I understand what's going on here, Mick. I'm not no dinosaur.
Nah, I get it, man. Well, like I said, man, I'm over. I don't even know, man. I'm so far past time, man. This show got real interesting. Yeah, we ain't really one of these boys like this in a while. But like I said, I'm glad it went there. Cause I said a lot of good information, a lot of good conversation came out of this show. I said we have a lot of viewers that rock with us the whole show tonight. So I said that was positive, but. Yeah, I don't even know if I need to take no closing stat. Y'all got anything y'all want to say in closing? Let me just do it like that. Anybody got anything they want to say in closing?
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say, but this just goes to show you, you can learn something from anyone at any stage of life. That's why you got to be open-minded. That's why you got to keep an open mind. Because I just, Mickey just reminded us of something very important earlier. Vince has dropped some jewels. Prince has added some. He confused me a few times tonight, but he did drop some. But he dropped some helpful information. Nicole also brought some helpful information to the table. So this is why you do have to keep an open mind, right? Because you can learn something from anyone in any walk of life, right? So we just have to be open to the critique, the criticism, the suggestions, whatever you want to call it, because there's always something you can take away, something positive or useful you can take away from it. Right, so for me, I think that's why this conversation was so important.
Yeah, no, it was. Let me hit the lady. We'll go ahead and do it. We're gonna hit the ladies first, and we're working around real quick, and then we getting out of here. Nicole, you got anything you want to say in closing?
Definitely women are not to blame for men's toxic behavior. That was the point that Steve Prince kind of made earlier. Okay. And overall, I would say there has to just be a lot of reflection and self-work to get where you want to be. And along that journey, just ask for grace and give grace. I think that will make the transitions and conversations a lot easier.
Okay. All right, cool. We appreciate it. Mickey, you got anything you want to say in closing? Good. All right. We'll slide up. I'm gonna go to Vince. I know C Prince gonna pull in the end. Go ahead, Vince. You got anything you want to say in closing, man?
I'm gonna give C Prince my time.
Okay, all right. Some of you, C Prince. Go ahead and close it out, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be. Listen, we went a lot of places tonight. Some places hit home. Some I just struck out on. But guess what? The best thing we came out of this thing is that everybody is marrying for the benefit of something. Point blank. It's a benefit. And that's what it is. So let's keep it real. So when you go meet your next dude or woman, remember this. It's a benefit. If you lose him, don't marry him. If you gain him, marry him. So what? If you divorce, you still get benefits. You see what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real, because this is what it's all about. So, people might not like what I say, but guess what? Some people come up after divorce with them benefits. You know what I'm saying? They look like a shiny new penny. Understand that. Let's keep it real. But if you want to be serious about it, don't look at the benefits. Fall in love with somebody, and guess what? Don't worry about the benefits, because any real man worth his salt is going to take care of his family, married or not. Period. You know what I'm saying? That contract got you fooled with a bunch of smoke. Guess what? I know too many men that passed away, not married to a woman, and she got everything. Understand this. Got everything. That's what they got wheels for. You know what I'm saying? If somebody gonna love you, they're gonna will you their stuff. But guess what? If they don't, you still gonna be in probate court. And guess what? The state gonna ration it out. Especially if it's contested by the children or a family member. Guess what? Man, you lost. You know what I'm saying? So guess what? Benefits. Remember, you get health care, dental, half of retirement. Just look at the benefits that you get for marriage. When you love somebody, you're gonna get some real benefits beyond that.
Uh-oh. Go ahead, Mickey.
It's just to his point. Probably in the next week or so, because I'm waiting on one of my properties to close. But my client is, not her, but her children, her son and her son's girlfriend are currently buying a home together, and it's a white family. And I asked them to chime in, or I asked her specifically to break down, because I was interested in the concept of how they decided to go in the down the road of purchasing a house together without being married. And there's a lot of intricacies to that. And so we're going to do a Zoom call chat about it, because it was just so interesting to me that, they found a way to benefit from each other without being married. And there are tons and tons of paperwork stacked up on top of that to protect each individual's assets. And they're not even married yet. But with the rent out here being crazy as it is, they're like, why not own a home? So we'll both have something to come out. Even if we do break up, they're still both going to benefit from that situation. So I just thought that was an interesting topic, and I hope I'm going to put it out when we get ready to do it. But it was just, she's a trust advisor. So she's got a lot of knowledge to drop, because I felt that was interesting from the Black community perspective, that we live together. We do all these things as a married entity. We have children, but we don't protect our assets in that. So I wanted her perspective to talk about why they decided to do that, and just what it means as in new age dating, because we're clearly not doing it the way we were. And these kids are like 25, buying a house together. They're just dating. We don't know if they're going to stay together or not, but they own a house, and it's probably already worth $50,000 more than what they paid for it, and we haven't even closed on it yet. So,
Okay, well, you have to share that with us, right? So, like I said, once again, the securing of assets is important, right? So, of course, a trust can play into that very effectively if done right. So, like I said, you definitely have to come back and share that with us. And like I said, and that's going to be on a future show. Just talking about some of these things that a lot of our people just don't even know. Some of these structures that we could enter in, and get these benefits or leverage these benefits off of these things and so forth. So there's a lot that we don't know in that space.
Sure.
But like I said, that's a full show to touch on some of those things that can really financially help move us forward, for generations after us and current. But that's a whole nother show. Like I said, we definitely gonna have that show. Go ahead, Vince, then I'm gonna wrap it up, man.
One quick thing is, through generations, marriage has been the one thing that has guaranteed wealth.
Boom.
You don't see
That's
Henry
a fact.
Ford's kids living together. You don't see the DuPonts living together. You didn't see the Firestones living together. You didn't see black people before 1950 living together. We had more money, we had more houses, we had more education. So marriage is the thing. When we talk about generational wealth, marriage has been the guaranteed number one thing that can pass down wealth. And we
It's the
want to do all
foundation.
this other stuff okay.
It's the
We always talk
foundation.
about what the white people doing. They get married.
That's true, and that
No,
is
they
true.
aren't. No, they aren't.
Well, okay, maybe
But
not
Okay.
all of them.
Policy.
Maybe not all of them, but
We're gonna take that. We're
they
gonna
get
take
married.
that to
Insurance
another
policy.
conversation.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna take that to another conversation. Y'all trying to wear me out.
All
Y'all
my
gonna-
neighbors
I know.
are
I'm about to
married
go to
in $1
sleep.
million houses. Every last one of them married.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're gonna take that to a conversation. There's some validity to what you're saying there, Vince. But shout out to everybody joining us tonight. Shout out to Chloe C. Prince, Nicole, Mickey, Vince. Shout out to Peter down in the comments. Shout out to Tiffany Rowan. Congratulations again on that engagement. Shout out to Kevin Palmer checking in as well. Like I said, we do this show every Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, every Wednesday night, Kandid Konvos. Like I said, we keep it real, we keep it a buck, we take it there every Wednesday night. So, with that being said, everybody have an awesome night, and we will catch you guys next Wednesday. Peace.